The following podcast is an ATW View Impromptu.
What? Freaking question. Well, are you alright?
Yep, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, that was botched, and I'm not even on camera. That's great.
Yeah, that's it on camera.
There it is. There's my camera.
Brilliant. Alright. Alright. Well, again, what is wrestling about botches? You talk about August, the month of bizarre, I would say, where absolutely, truly you could say never. We finally have seen a changing of the guard, what may seem permanently, in the WWE. The G1 Climax has concluded after its 4-block insanity. Impact Wrestling continues to bring forward its professional wrestling. And now we look towards the biggest card that went all out in all elite wrestling. Why do I say these things and say this terminology quite repetitively? Because, simply put, it is simply about all things wrestling. Hello once again, everybody, and welcome back to the ATW View Impromptu, the monthly platform that we come together for. We are ATW and discuss all things wrestling. We are ATW, and tonight's forum will discuss several things that occurred in August, maybe some of our favorite matches and same moments, and we'll conclude with our main event, preview and discussing the entire AEW All Out pay-per-view. 15 matches. That's a new high score. Before we get into all the festivities and so much more, allow me to introduce you to tonight's panel here representing ATW. I have, of course, my all-elite brother and colleague on the Daily Slam, the King, Anthony King A-Train, and he's different, he's creative, he's vocal, he tells you how it is, and he's one of the most unique minds I've come to know as a friend and enjoy, and sometimes I have a personal quote for him. James Hebert. Gentlemen, we have made it through August. We are just around the corner from the AEW pay-per-view, a trio-level event, professional wrestling weekend 2, and so much went down during this last month that I know we want to talk about and discuss too. With that being said, how are both of you doing? I'll open the floor to either of you.
Man, doing great.
How's that? Yeah,
real great. Especially getting ready for this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend is gonna be fucking crazy.
Bonkers. Just put it out there. Bonkers.
And then both cards are looking nice, and I don't know, like, it's crazy right now. It going crazy.
Which is why I am glad I took off Monday for Labor Day, because Sunday
I don't blame you.
Tony got that card 15 matches stacked to where what's going to be sleep?
No.
What is sleep?
What is sleep? The correct answer is no.
Baby, don't hurt me.
All
right. Well, good stuff. And yeah, again, you thought we could get a sigh of relief. I know we definitely will be giving ourselves sighs come Monday morning on the East Coast, particularly. Because, yeah, let's go ahead and just look at the scope of what's ahead, literally a few hours away from the UK. Shout out to, of course, our queen, Megan Shiva. I haven't chatted to her lately. I hope she's doing okay. Of course, we have the Worlds Collide event on Sunday, redefining NXT blank white landscape, and shout out, of course, to NXT UK. We'll definitely talk more about that, too. And then the weekend culminates going all out with the AEW All Out pay-per-view. You got 15 matches, you got 5 matches, and you got 6 matches. Do the math, folks. That's 26 professional wrestling matches in 2 days brought to us by the 2 biggest companies in the world.
Yay.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I have to pay attention to every move for at least 2 of those shows.
Yeah. And there's definitely a lot of polarizing topics to discuss across all of those. But before we get there, let's go ahead and talk about maybe some things that occurred during August. As, again, the biggest thing that happened to us as fans for life. The WWE landscape changed forever. Game on. As you all know, multiple discussions, reports have come out when it comes to conspiracies and underhanded tactics and toxicity within particularly the WWE. If there's one person that has ranted about it longer than I can actually say to a degree, it's the man below me. So I'm going to let him take the floor with this first story that might have been the biggest story ever in the wrestling industry. James, take it away. How Vince McMahon no longer is the WWE.
Before I do that, we do have two commenters in the chat. Darren G, I think, in response to the intro, saying, "What was that?" Well, that was the intro, my good sir. And Sibak, or Sibak, says, "Hey, Noah and everyone." Hello, Sibak.
Hey, how's it going? And the intro, it is what it is. I keep it simple. I don't do retakes and wrestling botches. Why can't we? Have fun with it. And just enjoy wrestling. Again, side of the industry. Shout out to that guy. Literally living the moniker that I live by. Anyway, James, the floor is yours. Let's go ahead and open discussion regarding the WWE and the changes as of late and what's still to come, it seems.
Yeah, there's a lot. Obviously, the biggest one was Vince McMahon doing what he did. And obviously, it's been covered ad nauseum what he did, and I just don't want to bring it up because it's kind of gross and disgusting. So anyway,
let's go ahead and look at what has happened since.
But because of that scandal, he is now out of power, basically by force, confirmed by Shane Wells on NoDQ.com. They were looking for any reason to get him out, and that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. And so, in charge of the business side of things is Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan, respectively. And in charge of the wrestling creative, Triple H, Paul Levesque, is now a part and the runner of everything to do creatively with the WWE. He is also, I believe, head of talent relations on top of that. So he basically went from having no hats to his cardiac arrest to having every hat.
Yeah.
So there you go. And he doesn't seem like he's having heart problems right now. So I think Jeff's theory about him getting heartbroken that his baby was completely gutted might be true. So there you go. All in all, it's a good time for wrestling, or at least you would think, for the most part, anyway. And then the comments happened about AEW, which I'll get to. But my issue is, I feel like Triple H is doing a lot of things too fast. I remember I mentioned this on Jeff Meacham Network, but now more than ever, it seems like that's the case, because already he didn't build a good enough tournament for the women's tag titles, which I reamed him out for on Jeff's show. Absolutely.
Big time.
And he deserves it because he was banking on all of his chips on one team. We now know that. And that was Toxic Attraction. And the former, what's her name? I'm blanking on her indie name and her current name.
Gigi Dolan?
Yeah, Gigi Dolan got hurt.
Priscilla Kelly, the former Priscilla Kelly.
The former Priscilla Kelly got hurt, and now, I mean, they still could have done it if they just brought up Mandy Rose, and then they could have had her team up with the other one, but long and short of it is, they didn't want to do that, so they went with a makeshift team that made absolutely zero sense, even though they still had Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Regardless, point being, the tournament has been an epic fail. And what has also been... Oh, and by the way, Baron Corbin and his comments on JD need to... Dude, you look like such a mark when you do that. Never comment on social media again. That was ridiculous. That not only made wrestlers look bad, that made wrestling fans absolutely cringe.
As if there's not enough criticism already when it comes to the wrestling industry.
Exactly.
And the fans of it.
Oh, and speaking of which, even though most of what Triple H has done is good, and don't get me wrong, let's talk about this. He then, apparently he was on a freaking conference call. Right. And I have not seen this interview, admittedly, but when I heard this quote, man, was it just absolutely, positively tone deaf. He goes and
Himself.
says, "Oh, AEW, they beat a developmental brand. Good for them.
But
They
didn't he
beat
say
a developmental brand. They beat your developmental brand that was gutted by Vince.
exactly?
It's almost like
What are you doing?
It's almost like, based on what you're saying, Triple H just accepted the defeat and just wanted to move on. Again, like we talk about what we're talking about briefly with Worlds Collide.
Well, you know what?
NXT is being a blank white canvas again.
Hold on. I said that when I didn't think he actually held a grudge. Well, clearly from that comment, clearly he's holding this grudge. So clearly he didn't move on if he's saying something like that. And who gives a crap? Who cares? Like, even if that's even remotely true, let's entertain that idea. Oh yeah, AEW was only able to beat the developmental brand, which, by the way, not entirely true. They also beat SmackDown when they went to FS1, but, that's neither here nor there.
That's a whole different story,
And, by the way, you're basing it on Nielsen, so that's neither here nor there, too. So, what do I know? I feel like I'm going to be blue in the face by the time I'm done explaining that. But regardless, you go and say that on the air already, and then expect nobody to be pissed off and expect nobody to be divisive from that comment. All you did essentially was make NXT look bad and AEW look bad with your words.
Nobody wins. Again,
nobody wins here.
Your words can be the most dangerous thing, worse than somebody behind a keyboard on the Twitter. But again,
well, this is why I say it's like, so there are some days, and I'll get to it at the end, where I'm like, I hope MJF doesn't freaking show up. Because then I can be off camera, then I don't have to freaking deal with social media with people spewing bullshit like this.
There's a reason why I don't do notifications, and I don't scroll, and I only talk with you guys from ATW, but I digress.
But it's like, even if you want to avoid it, for some reason it always gets shoved in my face. And you know what? Even if I just see one story every 4 months is enough to just be like, this shit's embarrassing. This is embarrassing behavior. And Tony is not exempt from that. We'll get to him as well.
No one is. I mean, again, we're talking as wrestling fans, this behavior is within the industry, but again, the world is an embarrassment when it comes to people and the way that they act and the immaturity and mediocrity. But that's a whole different conversation for another day and a different platform. We're not trying to get into that type of subtext like we'd be here all night.
Anyway, basically, for the most part, Triple H has been a net positive for the WWE, but there have been those glaring issues that I've already seen, and I'm not liking that.
Okay, that's fair. Well, I will say this before I turn it over to King and give his thoughts on the WWE environment and outlook and landscape and whatever else WWE things he might say or think about. Since SummerSlam, and since we have now known Triple H have full creative control, I definitely will say that Monday Night Raw has definitely put a better focus on professional wrestling, and not to mention trying to build the mid-card for both the United States Continental Championships, making them matter, making the challengers work for it, and making the challengers seem like they actually can obtain it to a degree too. We saw most recently with Walter, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Bobby Lashley and Tommaso Ciampa, who of course was honoring the late great Harley Race, a very close friend who also trained that very man. We've also seen Triple H bring back more of his NXT into the main roster, including that limited to Hip Row, Karrion Kross, Scarlett Bordeaux, original entrance as well, and Johnny Gargano, among others. It does feel like Triple H is trying to breathe life back into the WWE product when it comes to a focus on what he was trying to breathe in our Black and Gold NXT, and that was wrestling being more respected, but also being more definitive in the decision making. Not just your face, or if you show up on a show, you make a man laugh eating a good steak. So I will say this, there is a net positive for me now more as a fan when I look at the landscape of WWE that does make me care more about the product. I still cannot watch Monday Night Raw for 3 hours. That's not going to change. But the fact that you raise your mid-card, you're bringing back names, you're bringing back themes, those are all positives to a degree. And the fact that we got 2 shows strictly creatively run by him, that will include Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai in action. That match right there is going to tell me a lot too. I'm definitely more in a positive mood than I used to be. Now, that being said, King, what's been your thoughts so far on the Triple H saga of the WWE? That is now and probably forever, it seems.
Since SummerSlam, I have been on the Triple H train of positivity, and that has not stopped. But I will say that he has taken another L by signing Strowman. What's going to change about Strowman than from his first run? Because they actually got him back on Monday. He will be in Kansas City on Monday.
Oh, Lord.
That's why it breaks me, just like I just got through saying. What's going to change about Strowman now than when he first came onto the company? Because basically, let's go back.
CYM will be dead at least.
Yeah,
I guess that would be a net positive unless you talk. Well, we'll talk more about that later.
Yeah,
but continue.
Yeah, but speaking on that, I want to touch on that. Strowman, how's that comment for CYN is going to last longer than AEW? You should retract that statement. But I digress.
Ding.
But so far, like James touched on the women's tag team tournament being an absolute fail. And the Strowman, that's 2 L's, but I'm still on that positivity train. But also,
but the W's outweigh the L's so far.
Yeah, and he's bringing his NXT people back, but it's like, and of course he's not going to stop. Reports is basically saying he's not going to stop getting some of his guys back. But I feel like trying to replicate the black and gold, but you can only go so far.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to replicating the black and gold on the main roster, because the main roster is a different beast than when he was in NXT for the black and gold era. So we shall see how this plays out, especially with tomorrow being his first actual produced pay-per-view with Clash at the Castle. And you got to get rid of the Roman and Uso legend. You got to get rid of it in order for me to watch. I'm talking not YouTube highlights. I'm talking in general. As in, I might watch 3 hours Raw or I might watch a SmackDown. You got to get rid of the Roman agenda first. We just now hit the 2-year celebration of Roman, which congrats to Roman.
Mm-hmm. Fit the work ethic, yeah.
But got to get rid of that in order for me to just basically convert back to watching this product.
Yeah, again, I've been saying it since WrestleMania. The biggest mistake is holding the WWE Championship hostage, playing second fiddle to a blueberry strap that is more irrelevant than the name Universal. And I will not disrespect Roman Reigns when it comes to his work ethic, but we don't need a Brock Lesnar mentality that literally holds the titles hostage longer to a degree. Of course, we know that he's defended this now on 1 premium live event since WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar, and again, he lifted the damn ring with a tractor. What the fuck?
Yeah, right.
But I digress. Yeah, this women's tournament, again, I said he should have represented all the brands of the WWE. Raw, SmackDown, his NXT, not my NXT, and NXT. Each one of those had at least a couple of tag teams, and then you could have had literally Worlds Collide, which I will briefly highlight in a moment here too, and you could have defined NXT Women Tag Team Champions or definitive Women Tag Team Champions. The only way I could see that when I learned who it was like, the only way I could buy into this, if you're pushing forward Raquel, but she's already had this before. This is just literally maybe giving Aaliyah more TV time, but Aaliyah still needs to work as well. And I'll give Aaliyah credit too. You take the opportunity whenever you can get it, and Triple H trying to push forward some different faces to a degree, on a wrestling standpoint. I can kind of get behind that too. The biggest positive to me when it comes to what he has done, the Kevin Owens I used to remember, the prize fighter, is back.
Yeah.
That guy is not the guy to lead Monday Night Raw going forward in some capacity. Damn shame. Damn missed opportunity. Michael Cole, Pat McAfee sound more organic, more engaging, more exciting. This is the first time in I don't know how many years Michael Cole actually sounds like a real fan of wrestling, not a overplayed, stressed out robot.
Yeah. By the way, we actually have a couple things. We have a couple comments from Liz.
Sure.
Liz Gatto says, "Evening, guys. Non-wrestling topic here. Want to know your reaction to Serena retiring officially from tennis today. I don't know who that is. So.
That would be
Serena Williams.
Serena Williams.
Oh.
I mean, she's one of the most prolific names in all of the sport of tennis. It's kind of surprising me, but again, I feel just like in any sport, you have to balance your body and your mind. There's a physical and mental warfare that's always going on with you to the point you always test and challenge yourself, but you need to know either when enough is enough or something's going to tell you otherwise, and it could lead to more devastating results. If that's her choice willingly, then I say give somebody else the spot, and hopefully they can take the ball and roll with it. That's kind of what I feel like Triple H is trying to do now, redefining the WWE to a degree more on wrestling. When Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens shared that promo talking about we're wrestlers of wrestling, let's just freaking wrestle, that caught me big. That made me think, okay, he's trying to take Raw in a different direction. And again, I don't watch it, but I definitely keep up with it. Speaking of the WWE, let's go ahead and change subtent when we talk about Triple H.
Well, there's one more WWE comment from Liz. Liz also
yeah,
said,
by the way, he sees the chat, folks. I don't, so apologies.
Yeah. To me, Strowman has already burned a bridge. Can't believe they're trying to bring him back.
The only reason I can think is because his girlfriend or future fiance, whatever the hell you want to put it in WWE, we know that's Raquel Gonzalez or Rodriguez or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Again, they like to keep couples together. Just saying. Just saying.
Yeah, whatever. I mean,
yeah, but
it
anyway.
is what it is. Like as long as he can't go anywhere else in the industry because he's
chastised every other form of a worker in the industry. Let's put it out there, all right?
Yeah, like,
respect independent wrestling.
It's WWE or CYN. I know where I'd tolerate Strowman more. And it ain't CYN.
Well, again, CYN is probably the worst thing to ever be conceived in the wrestling industry, and that says a whole lot.
Yeah, because all it is just wrestling Twitter, but lived out.
Oh, good Lord Almighty!
That's what it is.
I'm
not wrong.
Purgatory, hell on earth. I definitely get that for wrestling.
Yeah,
I definitely
man.
get that. Good Lord. Whatever. But yeah, speaking of WWE, we got to talk about Wholeheartedly. As we know, this week marked the end of an era in its own right. For the last 5 years, the Black and Red has been definitely my standout brand in the WWE, providing weekly 1 hour of great, compelling action and television. They have finally concluded their session, and now it will become what is being known as NXT Europe in 2023. I don't know necessarily what to think right now about that, but I have to say this. Thank you, NXT UK, for everything. Yeah. Before we move on any further into Worlds Collide and maybe something else too, do either of you have any fond memories, any thoughts regarding this, and what's your biggest takeaway from NXT UK?
There's a couple, Walter, and the fact that Cardiff was not a great show.
It was a 2-match show. Let's just put it out there.
Yeah,
it was a 2-match show.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, man. I don't know. It was a time. I feel like without Walter or Pete Dunne and Ilya Dragunov, that there was really no reason for a brand. I never was necessarily the biggest fan of NXT UK because of what it did to the UK indie scene. I think it absolutely killed it dead. I think that was the intent of what NXT UK was, and that's exactly what ended up happening.
Global localization, a.k.a. domination. Continue.
Yeah, it's what it's called is monopolization, and that's illegal. So, never going to be for that, especially for the industry that's already struggling enough as it is. So I was never for NXT UK from a business standpoint and from a industry standpoint. Creatively, it was not great until Shawn Michaels took over, so it got better. But otherwise, it was it was what it was. I mean, I don't know. I never really could get into NXT UK. The UK tournaments were absolutely fantastic.
Right.
But I don't know. Otherwise, there's really not much to write home about for me. I mean, Walter and Pete Dunne were it for me, and also Ilya Dragunov.
I want to give definitely Michael Satsumura, Kaylee Ray. They definitely carried it. Of course, Rhea Ripley. She defined the women's division in the very beginning. There was some good stuff when it came to looking at, the work rate and the quality of the product, but the aftermath effect now and what happened during its, creative time, it is going to be something that definitely see how the entire wrestling scene over there redefines itself and rises up. Because I look at stuff like Over the Top Rope. I look at Rev Pro. I look at Pro Wrestling Eve. I've looked at Progress, just to name a few. And of course, I looked at WXW because, well, that's where Killer Kelly was from, and Walter for that matter. So, why I don't think it's dead, it definitely will be, I feel, in a state of recovery. And I can only hope it means better things for the entire wrestling industry, especially over there. Shout out to those that were released, including but not limited to Dave Maston, Billy McKenzie. I thought they had incredible potential, but whether or not this is a permanent thing or they come back in 2023, we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, I mean,
I
have one more thing to add. Obviously, what they're trying to do now, instead of doing every country, they're trying to make so now it's NXT Europe. That's essentially what it's turning into. So
right.
What?
And what does that mean, though?
Exactly. Are we doing an NXT camp, quote unquote, and NXT show for every freaking continent minus Antarctica? Is that what the hell we're doing? Like, what's next? NXT South America? Oh, I'm sure that will go over well in the freaking crazy ass world that is Brazil. That will go great. How about or what? Are we gonna have NXT Japan? New Japan will really like that, considering they're in bed with the freaking government. That will not go over well. Period. Or are we gonna have NXT Asia so that way you can just base your stuff in South Korea?
Well, that's the safer Korea, if we're being honest here.
I mean, yeah, for sure. That's not a dig on South Korea. I don't like the idea that NXT is trying to broaden their bases to kill off every other territory. I don't like it. Because that's essentially what it's going to do. Like, right. If they were to do this like they were using Evolve, like if they had talent that came through that were not tied down to a freaking contract, like a developmental contract, but they also had people in a developmental contract, then I'd be a lot more comfortable with this. But I mean, NXT UK showed me what it was going to be, and that was basically two things: one, to get more talent for main NXT eventually, and two, to kill off the UK indie scene, which is essentially what it did, and it took them years to recover. So,
now they have free range at least till the beginning of 2023, whatever that freaking means. Anthony, anything you have to say regarding the UK wrestling scene in general or NXT UK?
When NXT UK first launched, I was basically all up. I was becoming a big fan. Like, you had your Walters, you had your Tyler Bates, you had your Pete, you had your Ilya Dragunov. You even had your Jordan Devlins. You even had Trent Seven, Mustache Mountain, then GYV.
We had Joe Coffey before they buried him.
Yep. We had Wolfgang, Gallus Boys. You had, basically, NXT UK roster-wise, great. It's just basically the pandemic, whenever it hit, I kind of fell out with NXT UK, and I came watching it less because of, no crowd. Yeah, basically, I got out of love for NXT UK, but I did, we'll pop up from time to time to see, who's all there, who's still there, what are some good matches to watch and whatnot.
Right.
So, if I were to name top two matches from the NXT UK brand itself, number one will always be Walter and Ilya Dragunov.
God, that match.
Especially NXT TakeOver 31, that was crazy how that match was.
Right.
And then, of course, TakeOver Chicago. That will always be forever well known. Will be Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, the NXT UK Championship. That was a very good rivalry and very good story told between both of those men.
Right.
And of course, Sleeper was NXT UK TakeOver when Finn Balor showed up to face his student, Devlin, teacher versus student. That was a nice surprise throwing in with Balor. But above all, Above all else, I'm glad the UK scene is finally getting a recovery until 2023, sadly to say. But thank you, NXT UK. Thank you for introducing to the guys that we've had respect for. We still have respect for.
Yep. Well, and
And
that's
several of
the
them,
thing,
yeah.
really. It's like it's a thank you, but also a big fuck you, because like
Right.
it introduced us
Man.
to all these guys that otherwise we probably wouldn't have known about unless you're like a real hardcore fan, like I am, or Noah is, or other people are. Like all of us are pretty much here in this call. But
To a degree.
but then you have the big fuck you because you killed the indie scene from when these people came from. I mean, look at what happened to WCPW / Defiant. That was like the biggest one that suffered.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
shut down. They closed operations, and they already had enough problems with the rebranding after the original crew left.
Mm-hmm.
That were basically running that ship, and yeah, it was bad, man. It was a bad time for the UK scene, and yeah, I don't know. Like it's two schools of thought for me. It's like thank you, yes, for showing me and introducing me to these guys, but also screw you for killing
Right.
the indie scene. Over in that part of the world.
Yeah, positive, negative effect that cancels each other out, where honestly you pretty much are just kind of indifferent maybe to the point, but you also still have those memories versus what you saw, what you learned, and who came out of it that you now see on literally weekly WWE television, at least now more so prolifically thanks to Triple H, but I digress. And then you think about those that you thought they could really be something big, and you have no idea what's ahead for them. The likes of Ginny, for example, who never acquired the NXT UK Women's Championship. It's weird to say the least that, again, it's over. I did not think that was going to happen to that brand particularly, because when it came to the idea of global localization, which was the original concept by the WWE, the UK was pretty much their strongest market outside this country. And yes, I know they have to deal with country redacted, but that's covered in blood money, and I don't really count that at all. So that's just my opinion on that. Bottom line, that's just my thoughts. So.
Well, here's another thing though. Like you say, I'm surprised. I wasn't at all. The minute the Peacock deal happened, I knew. Well, NXT is going to be done sooner rather than later.
I figured that the NXT here was going to be done. But yeah, the black and red, I guess, was kind of like, hanging by a
I
thread.
even touched on it last year when we did our ATW view last year, and I kind of touched on it that there were reports and rumors going around saying the NXT UK might be finished. Here we are.
And then
here we later.
Are, exactly. And then they're rebranding it anyway. It's not even that it's ending. Everybody keeps saying it's ending. We're even saying it's ending. They're rebranding to Europe.
Rebranded.
They're just doing the whole continent as opposed to just 2 parts or 2.5.
It kind of makes me wonder, like Impact Wrestling, like used to do, like the digital geographical type regions and show you like matches with Impact talent from different like promotions all over the world in different countries. To a degree, as an Impact insider, I do get digital exclusives where I find Impact talent in wrestling matches, but here in other promotions within the country. So I almost wonder if somebody's trying to take that approach to another level to a degree.
Maybe.
Only time will tell. Again, Triple H, he seems to have a better respect for wrestling, but still has that dangerous identity in the world of business when it comes to that brand and that company. So again, catch all. See what happens. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. Well, and it all will really, truly start with Worlds Collide, where again, look at the NXT logo. No rainbow color, guys. It's a blank canvas. It's white. And they're already uniting the NXT, not my NXT, and the NXT UK Championships, unification matches, the tag, the women, and the men. It almost makes me wonder, based on principle, based on experience, based on potential, what is this ever going to be? And is this going to be the first step in really shaping NXT UK with your, NXT Europe with your front runners, considering you got Michael Satomura and Tyler Bate and Gallus boys involved in these matches too. I would hope that these people that were willing to travel across the world, and I don't think this is a one-off, are here to lead forward this, not take an L to the likes of Briggs and Jensen and Mandy Rose.
Could you say they're going across the nation? The guns, my generation.
Oh man, they need to bring that theme back.
Yes.
I miss
I'm
that
just saying.
so much, dude.
I remember Sub-10. I remember when music in general in WWE had meaning, had purpose, had feeling, had identity. It doesn't have that anymore. Yeah. No, thank you. It doesn't have that anymore to a degree. CFOS did that a little bit with our NXT, and Death Rebel made one, maybe two good themes. Everything else, I'm like, what the hell am I hearing this noise?
They had more than one or two good themes. They had, I don't even know. What was the first theme NXT had? Wasn't that a CFO thing? I don't even remember what it was now. Yeah.
Crowd.
The roar of the crowd or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the roar of the
whatever
crowd.
that was.
Now, like I said, CFOS knew a better concept of what we wanted in that time with those type of showcasings. I don't know what the hell they're gardening now on Raw and SmackDown. I can't recognize anything.
God, no.
Death Rebel.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man, how about I loved NXT's. What was the theme song that they had after the second CFO theme? I forget.
Was it a Slipknot? It was Slipknot,
no. This is before Slipknot. This was evidence, resistance, apathy, tradition.
Oh, yeah, that one, the friggin' mark.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's my favorite theme. That's my favorite theme they've ever had. Period.
I felt NXT UK was slowly changing, and I was like, I'm not sure I can handle this. When they got rid of Dusted, the original NXT UK theme, I loved that theme and how it picked up and just talked out random like matters. Anyway.
Absolute UK grime to a T. That was so good.
Yeah,
it really was.
Good times. Again, wrestling needs identity, and it starts with how you entertain us. Who is showing forward?
Get rid of that god-awful
music.
AC/DC theme for SmackDown, please. God, it sucks.
Are you ready?
It sucks so much. They don't
even play the intro anymore, so what does it matter?
Fox, you had rights to an entire library from AC/DC, and you pick that song. You don't pick Thunderstruck. Right. You don't pick frickin', you don't pick, Shake a Leg. You don't pick any of the good shit. You pick, are you ready? Damn! I could fucking do that song. I could do a cover of that and it would cost you less. God damn.
I mean, Raw was pretty good when they were using freaking Shinedown and Skillet. I don't even know what they use anymore on Raw, so I mean...
I hated Legendary. Skillet fell off for me. I don't know what
it tried for what it was. It tried for what it was.
After that song, Hero, I never heard any more Skillet after that.
Hey, never forget...
Monster's alright.
Hey, you know what's the best WWE theme? Blood Money's theme, 100%. Got by Godsmack. Talk about a band that fell off. Jesus. Godsmack's given Boston a bad name lately.
Damn. That says a whole lot.
Well, I mean, when you join a Blood Money cult, you know.
Okay, putting you on the spot. What's worse? Godsmack with Blood Money or Nickelback practically all of WWE?
Hey, you know what? Burn It to the Ground actually kind of ruled. That kind of ruled.
It was kind of catchy.
Everybody says, oh, Nickelback sucks, because that's like the popular thing to say. It's like John Cena sucked, and then you realize he didn't later, right?
It's also like saying...
It's just WWE made him suck because they didn't want him to use more than like 5 moves, and then you realize, oh wait, he can do all this other crap. But it's like Nickelback. That's Nickelback with music. Everybody thought, Nickelback sucks. They're only known for look at this graph, and then they don't think of all the other really good songs that are metal as hell that came out from them. They just pass it off to the right. Come on, guys. Come on.
Just admit it, folks. Y'all used to listen to Nickelback.
I bet everybody that craps on Nickelback still listens to Nickelback. I could guarantee you still listen to Nickelback at least once.
Heck, even I still listen to them every now and then.
Yeah, their new songs are good too.
My Pandora, they had some good songs. I mean, again, they had some good songs,
Their Betrayed theme, the Betrayed Act 3, if you have not heard that from Nickelback, go look this up after the show. That song
there you go.
Rules, man. That rules. Somebody should use that as like a promo theme for wrestling someday. The
I'm
portrayed
surprised
actor.
AEW.
That would have worked so well for Jungle Boy and Christian. That theme.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
my God, that would have.
I was literally about to
so
say, I'm
based.
surprised AEW hasn't tried that. Well, then again, we haven't seen, like, necessarily, the video packages that they always do before the matches. We're just coming off of the collapsed version of Countdown on free cable television. Fuck commercials. And, of course, we'll look at the extended one when it shows up on YouTube. But as we talk wrestling, you talk about, insulting stuff. People always like to pick on the they call it the stephead of red child wrestling industry. Here it still stands 20 years later. Let's talk a little bit about Impact Wrestling. As Impact Wrestling recently had their Emergence event headlined by Alex Shelley, who had his first ever Impact World Championship match. Whether or not it's his last, who knows to a degree, but they definitely left it all out there in the middle of the ring. Speedball Mike Bailey has been a phenomenal X Division champion, and Masha Slamovich, the undefeated force in Impact Wrestling, finally got the win over Deonna Purrazzo. Honestly, that was the match that kind of brought her into the door of Impact Zone, in my opinion. Back at Knockdown, when she first faced her on behalf of Mickie James, picking her as a pick your poison. And then, like I said, the number one thing that makes me most happy, welcome back to professional wrestling, Killer Kelly. Let's freaking go.
Yes, real quick, before we completely move on and talk about Impact, I do want to read Elizabeth's comments.
Sure.
Across the Nation, love that song. First wrestling theme song I loved when I restarted after taking a break, a 3-year break for high school reasons. And then she also says, I've heard of Nickelback, but never listened to any of their music. See, Liz, I believe that more than I believe people who say they don't listen to Nickelback anymore.
I believe that.
Actually don't listen to Nickelback anymore. I actually believe that. Like,
you hear a moment of Nickelback, it's gonna stick in your head. You're like, I'm gonna have to go listen to that song. Go Shazam it,
dude. I still love that "Burn It to the Ground" theme because it's just, I don't know what it was, man. It was really good. It really, I think it fit the time too, even though that time sucked.
Well, again, the less we talk about that, the better off that we are. What did suck, though, to a degree, I thought Emergence was pretty surprising, and as Impact Wrestling now looks towards Bound for Glory, Killer Kelly, choke the hell out of Tasha, please, and have fun with it. Sorry. That being said,
are you okay?
I like Killer Kelly. I like her approach.
Oh no, that is clear that you like Killer. And I think you like her a little too much.
I'm always going to be indifferent on Tasha Steelz because twerking does not belong in professional wrestling, damn it! But I digress. Sorry, Kelly Ford.
Bro, you reacted to Killer Kelly choking somebody out just like Dominic Mysterio reacted to Rhea Ripley choking him out with her thighs.
I mean, to be fair, James, that sounds like a comment that you would be more happy. That sounds like a comment where you would be happy to be more in that place.
Hey, you know what? I won't even deny.
I know this guy, folks. But yeah, Killer Kelly, this, what is the word I'm looking for here? Dangerous predator on the prowl with a very methodical approach. I'm very curious how far this goes now that she's she's a whole different, kind of style that she brings towards the ring after all the physical and mental crap she's been through. I'm very happy for her, and I'm glad to see her back in professional wrestling.
What's her shoot last name? Because I had an idea for you guys, like I did for Unlimited Power, that will probably never be at this point. I've all but given up hope. But I have one.
Sorry, brother.
I have one for Killer Kelly. If this Impact and AEW partnership is back on, right, which I'm sure we'll talk about, when she comes back from injury, I have the perfect AEW partner for Killer Kelly.
Who would that be?
Legit Layla Hirsch.
That's a good shout-out. I don't think her and Killer Kelly have had a match in a long time. Because now that I know that Killer Kelly's in Impact, I'm just thinking Killer Kelly versus Masha needs to be revisited. And for those that don't know, go watch that show that Masha hosts.
I recommended that idea because the team name could be Legit Killers is pretty easy. There you go. Done.
Again, how many times we said, booking wrestling is not hard.
It's just motherfucker
expensive.
to finance, yes.
Yeah, the day I hit the lottery, I'm going to host my own wrestling show and put James on my freaking executive staff.
Yeah. Well, even if you put me and I have great ideas, don't get me wrong, but you're going to put all your chips into that basket and then you just be like, well, there goes all that money.
It's not like I have anything better to do with it after I do my bucket list, but that's a freaking dream waiting to happen. And
Yeah, that's fair.
again, we're just waiting to see if broken dreams are realized. That Clash of the Castle, per se, with Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns. Is he out of time? Are we going to say goodbye to this 2-year run for the Tribal Chief?
Please.
And how do we loophole this title conundrum to freaking have the title separated?
Well, hold on. About Impact, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is Steve Macklin going to be taking on Josh Alexander at Bound for Glory?
You really haven't been keeping up with Impact, haven't you, brother?
No, that's why I'm asking.
I haven't either. Yeah,
I respect
well, yeah.
that. There was a 6-pack elimination challenge as I try to bring you all to speed. Did not know how far you guys were behind. And it was elimination with Bandito. Holy hell, Bandito Ray Horse. What a freaking match it emerges, by the way. Great interpromotional affair. Let's see. It was Bandito. It was Rich Swann. It was Moose. It was Steve Macklin. It was Sami Callihan. It was Eddie Edwards. Moose and Macklin worked together to eliminate Sami Callihan, and then Macklin eliminated Moose. Then things broke down from there. We got down to Rich Swann and Bandito and Eddie Edwards. Then things broke down from there. And it came down to Rich Swann and Eddie Edwards. Oh. Eddie Edwards won.
Oh, why?
It's Eddie Edwards versus Josh Alexander at Bound for Glory for the Impact World Championship.
Steve Macklin has been the MVP of this company.
I agree.
Why? Agree. Why would you not give him a freaking title match? He didn't have to win it.
Eddie Edwards already got enough title shots already?
Yes.
Considering he was previously the heart and soul, but he hasn't tried to start no more.
God's sake.
Know. Tag team, I know. I'm just telling you. I'm just freaking telling you. But, yeah, that basically is what's happening with the Impact World Championship. And the Knockouts Championship will be Masha Slamovich versus Jordan Grace. X-Division Champion has yet to be decided to challenge Speedball Mike Billy, who continues to be an absolute incredible champion. Great match with Jack Evans. And the Tag Team Championships are no longer on the Good Brothers. The OGK just beat them this Thursday.
What?
Oh, my God. Why is this Honor No More faction still a thing when Ring of Honor still exists?
To be fair, why I try and, have sympathy for Anthony here, I think it means that they're going back to New Japan Pro Wrestling as agents now. They're free agents, basically. I think they read out their contract.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They did. Yeah, they are going.
Why couldn't it have been the Wolves? Just nobody cares that Davey Richards was an Impact original. Just team them up. Make it the Wolves. I don't know why it had to be the OGK. I like Mike Bennett. I like Matt Taven. But why are we still riding with this Honor No More crap? Why?
Exactly. That's what I'm also still trying to figure out why.
I wish I had an answer for you. And, of course, as we know,
and we all agree it's go away heat at this point. They've lasted way too long.
Pretty much. I think the fans at this point have gotten used to it. You see fans literally in the Impact Zone wearing the shirt. Now, Honor No More, they're just trying to get the gold, it seems.
Oh,
so that's Impact Wrestling kind of
Honor exists. Your own teammate in Vinny Marcellia had the 6-man tag titles.
Honor is real.
Honor is alive. It don't have a TV deal yet, but it's alive. God damn it.
Supercard of Honor and Death Before Dishonor just proved to us why Ring of Honor is back and alive and well.
So, Anthony, why don't you lead this conversation? Because, again, folks, in August, there was everything presented. NWA, Ring of Honor, special, what's the guy's name? Conrad Thompson presentation. WWE, AEW, and so much more. We're not going to talk about that, though. We're going to talk about what probably was the best thing in August, and that was the Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view. Anthony, take it away. Your quick thoughts, results, and everything from that. And what do you think is the future of Ring of Honor as it's still yet to be known?
Well, in the Tony Khan multiverse of promotions.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Like, these past 2 shows that we've watched have been top-notch, and you can see the difference in booking between Tony Khan Ring of Honor and Tony Khan AEW. You can definitely see the difference of the booking between both. So, and of course, Death Before Dishonor. Oh, I'm still trying to get, I'm over the whole Gresham thing. Of course, when I saw Gresham come out with the no octopus and just plain old red T-shirt and his wrestling gear, you knew something had to be up. And the reports came out, and the reports came out that him and TK got into it, and it led to a fallout, and it led to Gresham got his release.
Yep.
So, and of course, Gresham is still taking his break if nothing has been announced that I know of any wrestling events that he's going to be a part of.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Them breaking up the foundation probably has a lot to do with it. They should have signed the foundation because they were the fucking foundation of that company.
Red Titus, Jonathan Gresham, freaking Jay Lethal. Yes, they were the foundation. And Josh Woods, you're not wrong.
And the whole TBE Enterprises now became the Embassy, which we find out Tully Blanchard was no more.
Is Tully Blanchard released too?
I haven't heard anything. I haven't even checked to see if he's still a coach on the AEW page. I don't know.
I haven't heard no release of TB, but still, if Noah said he's still on the coach's page, then he's still with AEW.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
I'll check right now, but continue your run through. Because, again, there was a lot that happened on that freaking show. Good Lord.
Yes, it was, especially when we had a tag team cinema again with FTR and the Briscoes. The best 2 out of 3 falls. That was tag team cinema at its finest. And I wouldn't mind seeing a part 3, to be honest. I would not mind seeing a part 3 and go a tag team Iron Man match if that has not happened yet before in this professional wrestling landscape.
Agree.
I'd be for it.
I would be too.
As far as ROH TV goes, there have been reports of under the Warner Media of having a 3rd show. I'm hoping it's Ring of Honor, since knowing that Tony is intended to be more aggressive with Rampage next month, because we're getting 2, I think mostly October, we're getting live Rampages. Now 1 in October. So I'm guessing that's going to be the testing waters to see if they can get a ROH TV deal going. Hopefully that's the case.
Keyword hopefully.
Yeah, right.
Because we was hoping, I don't know about y'all, but I was hoping for an announcement about Ring of Honor when it comes to streaming or anything media related, and we didn't get that again.
No.
So hopefully this.
They can't wait for this streaming deal to be done with Discovery and Warner, and I think that's the problem. It was the same reason why I'm like, I think Tony's waiting for them to finalize the deal, Warner and Discovery, so they can merge their network streaming services. The issue that I have with this is the same issue I had when they were waiting for Kenny Omega to do these trios titles. You waited too long, and for what? I mean, what if he gets injured again? And that's the problem. It's like he's putting all of his chips in one basket because he feels he has no other choice, which, by the way, is complete bullshit.
Agree.
You have a Turner network right now in True TV. They're in just about the same homes as TNT and TBS, and nothing is on there yet. You know, Ring of Honor used to have a presence on True TV not too long ago in a show called All Worked Up, and Zach, the security guy, was like a thing. Ring of Honor had the earliest eyes Ring of Honor had was from All Worked Up, so there is history on True TV that you can tap into there. So I don't know why you don't just put it on True TV and just get it over with.
Right.
Wait for the streaming service that isn't going to happen. This is going to take a long time to finalize. Streaming services are a pain to merge. We saw it with Peacock's original deal. We saw it when I think Disney got ESPN. You know, that took a long time. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a year. May take 2, may take 3. WWE Network said they were going to launch in 2012. It took till 2014.
Yep.
So, like, this, I don't know. It's... If I'm Tony Khan, I'm just putting this on True TV and I'm not waiting. I don't know what the wait is for. You have a network.
And also, James, we're not businessmen. We're not investors also in any of this either. And I figure there has to be a lot of stuff that goes into it, not just simply picking a spot and buying it, but considering who you're taking it from. Do you buy that out? We don't necessarily know fully how TV works. And again, this is for TV, and you got to consider marketing, advertising, paying all that too. I can only imagine what the balance sheet is to just run a single episode of AEW on TNT that somehow does restaurant quality picture-in-picture and still shows us a little bit of the commercial actual part to a degree.
Your girl Liz, by the way, said, "Hey Noah, this guy on the bottom, loving his ranting on Impact Wrestling. Haven't watched him since 2015." Believe it or not, I've been actually praising Impact Wrestling up until recently.
Right.
Impact was doing really good, and I don't know what the hell this Bound for Glory buildup is, but they've already dropped the ball in giving Eddie Edwards another shot at the title, and not Steve Macklin. I don't know what the hell they were thinking.
Considering Macklin will be in the main event of their next Impact Monthly special for Impact Insiders exclusively on YouTube, it will be Victory Road. It will be Triple Threat, Barbed Wire Massacre, Moose, Macklin, Sami Callihan. No idea what that will lead to.
Number one contendership, hopefully, I guess.
Yeah, after Bound for Glory, I guess, because I don't see them doing Macklin versus
I don't
Edwards.
know, but why would you do that on free TV? Like, I don't get that.
The Victory Road is not free TV. You have to be Impact on the main site.
I'm saying for the title match, whoever wins that. Why would you book Steve Macklin and Josh Alexander on free TV, or any of those guys fighting Josh Alexander the night after Bound for Glory? That's ass backwards.
Well, to be fair, they just got through Summerverse, was more of a nostalgia night, and Bound for Glory last year was defined by everybody showing up, and I haven't seen anything regarding our logos regarding this year, so Impact Wrestling is just doing stuff differently, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. At least the Knockouts seem to have more fun. The
Knockouts division is probably the best thing going for that company.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Before we, of course, go into AEW and heavily devolve into that, I will say this. Ring of Honor for his honor, Claudio Castagnoli finally defining himself as a world champion, claiming the Ring of Honor World Championship.
Yes, let's go.
Great Pure Rules match with Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia, where Daniel Garcia, I feel that night, he kind of felt a little bit down on himself, especially when he tried to really, confront Yuta during the media call. Serena D, Mercedes Martinez, I did not know how far Mercedes was willing to go technical and how far her body could bend backwards too. But she was able to overcome the professor in her dojo and successfully retain the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. And of course, again, Anthony, you said it, FTR, Briscoes too. I did not think they could top what they did, Supercard of Honor. Boy, was I freaking wrong in this 2 out of 3 falls affair too. This was beyond insane. And then Dragon Lee and Rouge try to kill each other as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, you also had Yuta and Garcia. Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Oh, and also before we move on to talk about heavily debatable about AEW like you discussed, Mercedes Martinez is injured, by the way. I forgot.
No.
Our lovely Cindy G broke the news on our ATW Facebook on group about Mercedes Martinez being, I think it had something to do with her back injury. So get well soon, Mercedes. Hopefully for a speedy recovery.
How is Steve not a champion? And she is so flexible with her yoga. It's almost like she can't get injured. She just injures everybody else.
No. She got it. Don't jinx it, please. She got injured prior to her coming back. Don't jinx it, please.
Wait, when did that happen? What are you talking about?
She was injured prior to her coming back. Remember? Prior to her coming back and winning the NWA title, she had an injury.
Oh yeah,
but that was during a different time. I wasn't even thinking about that.
She was still doing yoga. Is my point. It didn't matter if there was pandemic or no pandemic.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't jinx it. No jinx.
All right. The bottom. Look, let's just put it out there, though. We respect professional wrestling. We care about the workers. We care about their safety. We want to see people thrive and succeed. And I don't think anyone will disagree that Deeb deserves to be a champion.
I agree with this, yes.
100%, without a doubt.
Now, what's our thoughts on Konosuke Takeshita that finally finished his excursion here in America and whether or not he comes back to be part of AEW? We saw him most recently, of course, face off Claudio Castagnoli at Battle of the Belts for Ring of Honor World Championship. again, he has so much credible potential. 10 years right now only in the game, and he's had absolute bangers with everybody under AEW, including Claudio Castagnoli, Jon Moxley, you name it. He was just looking for that one big win, but just couldn't do it. But I still feel like there is a chance one day he actually can achieve it. I hope it's not the last we've seen of him.
No, and it shouldn't be. Konosuke Takeshita is exceptionally great. I mean, it's unbelievable how good this guy is. The match I will remember will always be at the Battle of the Belt show. His match with Claudio was absolutely bonkers. Standing ovation from everybody in that arena, rightfully freaking so.
Damn right.
That match ruled. That match absolutely ruled. That put Takeshita on the map, and what a way to go out on your excursion, man, with that freaking win against Claudio. That was outstanding. I wish they could have extended it longer, just have a match at All Out. Seriously.
Yeah.
I really wish, you know.
And again, Cinnabon will always be a proud supporter of him. I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to get a
sponsorship. They're allowing sponsorships now in AEW. Get a sponsorship.
He's
Get it on your tights.
sponsored. He should have been sponsored by them. Before we talk a little bit about NJPW, King, any thoughts or great matches or ridiculous shots you remember Konosuke Takeshita having during his excursion here in AEW?
First of all, Konosuke, my guy, thank you. If y'all haven't put Konosuke in at least your top 10, 15 of the year, you are sadly mistaken because he belongs up there. But anyways, Konosuke and Mox is the match that stands out to me for the AEW World Championship. That's that match that I felt like Konosuke, both him and Mox were like able to show off that Japanese strong style and flow and chemistry. That chemistry and the flow of that match itself between both of them was fantastic. Loved it, especially when you put Konosuke in championship situations. It's like gets better. Like Mox and Claudio, those two title matches he had, for example. So whenever Konosuke gets back, that's all I need. I'm gonna be happy. I'll have a Cinnabon probably with me too.
What's more over, Cinnabon or Chips at this point?
Ask Hook about that question.
Well, dude, speaking of which, so Elizabeth says Konosuke is planning on challenging for the KOD Championship on the 25th, which if he wins, he plans on bringing it when he comes back to AEW. He wants to wrestle in AEW. Well, here's my instant reaction to that. We have to have the match of matches now. We gotta have it. It's been put out in the ether. Which is better, right? Cinnabon or Chips? Konosuke and Hook. Let's go!
Hook will die!
FTW title, KOD title, winner take all. Let's go.
No.
Yes.
That cold-hearted, handsome devil won't be handsome after that match. I guarantee you that.
Well, you can build this as the cold-hearted, handsome devils. Actually, no. It's got to be the cold. No. It's the warm-hearted and the cold-hearted. The one who likes Cinnabon and the bastard who eats chips. I mean, you can build it any other ways you can find to, but that would be great. The match would be phenomenal. Just have them go out there, go for like 10 minutes. It'll be great.
No. I need Konosuke and Omega. Then we can talk about that.
I do agree on.
Hey, listen. Sometimes you need more gold, and if you have Konosuke somehow beat Hook, or if you have Hook beat Konosuke, you could have Kenny versus Hook or Kenny versus Konosuke. It'll be great. Have the Bell Collector 2.0.
This boy's trying to friggin' book the friggin' New York tour. Good Lord Almighty.
I might.
Well,
AEW Grand Slam. Who gets 4 titles? Let's go.
FTR, if anybody, before them. I'm just saying.
Yeah, actually, that's fair. That's a fair shot.
As, of course, they survived the Briscoes in a match that will be remembered for years to come, as long as
and they'll be at Royal Quest in London.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Royal Quest being hosted by New Japan Pro Wrestling, as New Japan gave us a lot to look forward to this fall. As you alluded to, we got Royal Quest, 2 days, they go back to the UK, and I remember this forum last time where it was headlined by Minoru Suzuki, and let's go ahead and talk about it, guys. The G1 Climax, the 4 blocks, the Monster, the Survival, the All-Stars, the Death. We talked about the upsets. We talked about the surprising, worthwhile debuts, the biggest takeaway matches, the shockers galore too. In the end of it all, it was Will Ospreay versus Okada. Okada still won.
4-time G1 Climax winner. Now, I am happy Okada won. Now, the takeaways from this. Number 1, Lance Archer being back in a New Japan Pro Wrestling ring
needs to continue.
It's different. It hits different because
he fits better here. Yeah,
he fits better, and I don't understand that. Like, he fits so much better in New Japan since he's been signed to AEW, and Tony let him go to New Japan and work the G1. Like, how is this man not holding at least TNT gold? Like, he challenged for it and lost. But yet, he was IWGP US Heavyweight Champion. Good on him for that. But as far as when it comes to AEW gold, he has not held one.
And he's challenged for it countless times in main events. Let's also put that out there.
Exactly. So, whenever he comes back to AEW television, Tony, book him better. Now, Jonah. Oh, Jonah.
Damn.
He knows how to show out in the G1. Like, he gave a very good performance.
No.
I was surprised with Jonah's score. That was unbelievable.
And he's going to go back to NXT or WWE probably. He's not even going to be here for long.
I hope not.
You know what, though? He'll be used good. He'll be used good, at least. If he does
And
go
of
back
course
to
he was
WWE.
going to... And of course Triple H was going to scout him because, well, that was his guy. And of course, look at the run he's been having since NJPW and an Impact, both in general.
Yeah.
For real. TMDK.
So,
it sucks though because I really wanted a Samoan trio, and now we're not gonna get it. It would have been cool.
I mean, again, never say never. Who's to say that Jacob Fatu and freaking Jonah won't clash at some point too?
I would
Just
love
saying.
No, man, don't clash. Team, a trio.
Oh, that's too much. That's too much.
Yes, it is. And I want I'm putting it out in the ether. The Samoan SWAT triad, right there, right now. Jonah Rock, Jacob Fatu, Jeff Cobb. Book it, Tony.
I will say this.
Or New Japan. Somebody, anybody.
All right. I will say this. That monster block definitely held up to its name, and my favorite person that performed in that, it has to be Lance Archer. Each one of his matches felt different, calculated, and just composure.
Except for that count out against Balor Fale. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that was a big farce, all right? And to be fair, Jonah, he never got pinned or submitted. He lost via count out to Lance Archer. That just means we got to run that again.
Can we stop putting Bad Luck Fale and Toru Yano in G1s, please? It's kind of getting...
He brought up the...
Yes, I brought it up because I agree that it's getting old, especially on the latter side.
I do love the fact that Toru Yano feared Lance Archer. Was like, shit, I gotta be in there with this guy. And literally Lance tried to play along.
Wait, why was he in the monster block? I don't think, when I look at Toru Yano,
I have no idea. That was the dumbest move. That was the weirdest thing across this whole 4-block thing.
About that.
I have no idea, but watching Lance obliterate Toru Yano really brought warmth to my heart. So take that for what you will.
And also, next day, go back to the original form of the G1, please.
Yeah, this was a friggin' madhouse to try and keep up with, just to figure out.
Yeah, I imagine this had to have been difficult for Casey. I don't know if he said anything on your thing, Noah, but...
He talked about a little bit where it was definitely not as easy to track when it came down to who's your favorite, the whole thing. And there was more bodies than needed to be, including Yano.
Yeah.
But, again, Jonah being Okada, that was a shocker.
Bro, and
Jeff Cobb and Jonah, what a clash.
Bro, I'm just going to put this in perspective. Better matches, but Inokiism was better to track than this shit.
Yeah, that's saying.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot. Never do this.
I mean, we're only talking about one block, by the way, too. You look at the other blocks. I mean, what's the biggest takeaway from those blocks?
The shock, which was the C block.
Yeah, I will say that.
Aaron Hanare defeating Hiroshi Tanahashi?
Yeah,
on the opening day. That's got to count for something. Despite only getting 4 points.
See that coming at all.
No. What I also didn't see coming, though, was Tetsuya Naito being Zack Sabre Jr. in 3 damn minutes. What the hell?
Yeah, that.
And I even had Sabre Jr. winning the whole thing.
Same. I was holding out for a first-time winner, and I was this close to getting it. Especially after David Finlay, I thought was going to take the D block. What an incredible run for his first G1.
Especially that match he had with Juice. Oh my God.
How about personal? Yeesh.
Yeah, well, it's better than their team in Impact. That's for sure.
Hey, they were tag team champions. I mean, they took it from the Good Brothers, and the Good Brothers at one point they stole it.
Yeah, it was about drinking, and then because they didn't want to drink, they got mad, and then they fought, and then the match stopped, and then they won the titles, and then they lost them back to the Good Brothers. That's the whole feud.
That was
pretty much. You're not wrong.
And
then the B block, Ishii. What a rough run as well as good.
That was rough.
Oh hell.
Oh hell.
Yes.
And Taiji, though, had a couple of good wins against, like, Sonata, for example, and Taiji trying to bring out the demons of Tama. This block was about 2 people. Let's just put it out there. This block was about 2 people. It was about Jay White and Tama Tonga, and that's what decided all. If the G1 gave me anything to figure out for the future of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Tama Tonga is a guy to lead it as a champion.
No shit. He should already be a champion. He should, at the very least, never open weight champion. For crying out loud, something.
Well, that's still stuck on the machine gun, Carl Anderson, who, of course, will face Hiroshi Tanahashi on the upcoming shows as well. So we'll keep that in perspective. But, yes, in the end, Will Ospreay, who had a odd run, I feel like he was losing himself to a degree, and then he found himself again towards the end when he finally had the freaking title in his hand since everybody was playing hot potato. I'm the champion. No, I'm the champion. I'm the guy to come at you for the championship. Well, particularly Juice.
That's my title. That's my title.
Yeah, to a degree. You're not wrong. And we saw how far, how close, how driven, how aggressive he was in the G1 Climax final against Kazuchika Okada. Still not enough to stop the reign. To the point backstage, sounds like he's done finally going after that chase. I mean, how many times do you go after Okada till you just accept defeat? You can't beat the man.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's really fair.
There's a couple of comments here that Liz mentioned. I'll mention the one that we're on in a minute. KOD champion right now is Kazuzuya Hayaji. She gives a history lesson on the KOD championship and the feud between Konosuke Takeshita and his opponent. So, sorry, I'm going to butcher the names. Somebody else can read it. I will suck. I will butcher everything. Don't ever expect me to, especially with DDT stuff. The other one is Naito beat Zack in 1 minute and 58 seconds, and still to this day, funniest moment of the G1 this year.
I can't argue that because Zack Sabre Jr. went back to full-on anger management mode where he was about to destroy everything. I can listen to Zack Sabre Jr. rant all day.
Why are the Brits getting fucked, man? Why are they getting screwed? Will Ospreay doesn't win the G1. Neither does Jay White. Freaking Sabre Jr.'s getting squashed. What the hell?
I'm still shocked by that. The match that started the G1 last year where he took out Tetsuya Naito of the whole thing. Naito catches him with a flash roll-up move, fooling him from a Destino. I'm still shocked by that. I'm not going to lie. I'm still shocked by that. Ugh. And then for the first time ever, we got Will Ospreay versus Tetsuya Naito, and Ospreay overcame that. Talk about how he literally survived death with, again, fatal kidney infection. And he said that he was going to win, and I truly thought it was going to be his time to complete the only thing he hasn't done yet in New Japan, not to be. So, again, is Will Ospreay and Okada truly done with each other at this point?
First thing I gotta say is, thank God Ospreay is well and the kidney infection is gone.
I agree.
You said it was a kidney infection, correct?
Yes.
And he drinks heavily, an absurd amount, just because he likes to, correct?
Yes.
I wonder why he got the kidney infection. Maybe don't drink as much.
I'm not judging, but I'm also not going to deny your claim. Woohoo! But yeah,
Not good for the kidney.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, as far as the G1 goes, stick to traditional 2 blocks, please. This was fun. Try to get the history, New Japan Pro Wrestling. They've done it one at a time. Don't need it again.
I have idea for G1. Hear me out. Don't hold the Forbidden Door in the month right after the pay-per-view. My idea for the G1 is this.
This was back in the summer. I'll give them that.
Do this. Have a block, which is all your New Japan stars. So, and you can include Rev Pro in there. You could have other companies in there, right? Whatever.
Right.
And then, on New Japan Strong, have a Forbidden Door revolving door. Have some matches even take place on opposite soil. Work with AAA to make it happen. Screw gangs. That's all I'm going to say. And include their companies.
Again, he's not wrong again, folks. He's not wrong again.
Do a Forbidden Door G1. Okay. That's my recommendation next year. If you really want to do a G1 and you really want people to actually, care about it, get some names in there from the AEW side, from the MLW side. Just mix it all up. I'd love to see whatever you guys can come up with. Whatever you agree with, I'm for it. Just make sure AEW, MLW, New Japan Strong's included, and try to get AAA and CMLL involved too. That's my recommendation.
It's not a bad idea. Again, collaboration definitely is a greater approach than just figuring about, some sort of weird red flag, blurred lines competition, where at the end of the day, the wrestling industry is always competitive, but working with other companies just makes everybody look stronger when you figure about what each company can bring and who could definitely show out. So,
yeah. And especially with AEW working with New Japan for Wrestle Kingdom next year, too. So
allegedly. And again, at this point, if they don't do Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, or Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr., missed opportunity. Missed opportunity.
And that's another thing, too. Like, I think of what they could do with the G1 and how great it would be if you could put egos aside as well. I mean, you have these Forbidden Door opportunities you could have. I mean, imagine New Japan not even just working with Rev Pro, but like working with All Japan and and not Progress again because that's a WWE thing, but like All Japan Pro Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Noah again. Like, that would be really cool. Like, that would be really cool to see that. I just want something different than what you usually do. Like, I'm tired of the monotonous, okay, we only have so many people we can put in the A block and B block, so throw in Yano and Bad Luck Fale in there. No, I want a different format. But I don't want the format you went with, because that format was a bit much. So, just do 2 blocks and do a Japan block and a US block.
Well, the nice thing is Stardom's kind of doing that too. And let's talk about Stardom, who was presented there, as Sayaka Matami and Gilia were there to present the ceremonial flowers for the finals. But also, as we know, New Japan Pro Wrestling and Stardom will be working together in a crossover show. And we'll be crowning the first ever IWGP Women's World Championship. As we know, there will be an international side and a Stardom side. The Stardom side has already been defined by, I don't understand the convention, drawing straws lottery. And by the way, go check out their 5-star Grand Prix going on right now. Great freaking match with Giulia and Starlight Kid, who, might I add, according to Japanese professional wrestling fans, one of the most prolific professional wrestlers in the world right now from Japan. Starlight Kid was in the top 5. Congratulations. That being said, we know that Starlight Kid will be involved in this. We knew Mayu Atami will be involved in this. The current World of Stardom Champion Series, well, not. She got the bad straw. Oh, the devastation on her face. Go check out the clip on YouTube. But as far as the international side, Jazzy Gabbard, for example, will be involved in that. And I'm very curious who else is involved in that. And this tournament starts at Royal Quest.
Sounds good. Okay.
Thinking about how this title is going to be defended, not just in Japan, but also here on Strong, and knowing that we have a New Japan Pro Wrestling pay-per-view coming back here on American soil, Rumble on 44th Street, with Stardom presence involved, I'm very intrigued how this continued crossover of now Stardom and New Japan Pro Wrestling unfolds. And there's already been some great, unique mixed tag team matches coming forward too on the big crossover show. So, what are your guys' expectations for this IWGP Women's World Championship? Who you think should be the inaugural champion? And are you looking forward to more Stardom and NWW crossovers too?
Yes.
Yes.
My thoughts on it. It's too early to really give thoughts. I want to see what they do with it because this is a new thing, and we know that New Japan hasn't exactly been the biggest supporter of women's wrestling. It's been segregated for a very long time.
Yeah, no kidding.
So the fact that it's finally coming together like that's a big step in the right direction. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do, but again, wait and see approach because, it's a new thing for them. So I'm hoping they, egos don't get involved and ruin it. As far as that goes, though, I just want to make this comment real quick because Liz made a comment about Pro Wrestling Noah. Not sure if any of you watched, but Pro Wrestling Noah, in 2 hours, is their N1 Victory Finals, which features both the Great Okan and the last match of the Great Muta.
Ooh.
So apparently that's a thing. Man, I'm so glad I got to see Muta and Liger alive before they retired.
Yeah, I agree.
Damn,
so
man.
yeah, according to this, the IWGP Women's Title Tournament, King, round 1 will take place October 2nd in London at Royal Quest and will feature international talent, Jazzy Gabbert being one of them. The side of the bracket. And then round 1 continues October 22nd in Tachikawa with the Stardom talent. The Stardom bracket has 4 wrestlers. Again, we got Starlight Kid, Mayu Utami Hayashida, the former holder of the red strap. And the international bracket will...
Mayu Utami's so good.
Yeah, I know. Again, she is the icon of Stardom for a reason. And, of course, the international bracket will have 3 wrestlers... 4 ones, excuse me. One of them with a bye, which I find very interesting. When I was thinking about this title, I thought instantly, okay, it's gotta be either Mayu Utami. She is the icon of Stardom, former Ring of Women of Honor World Champion, what it used to be called. I think about Kairi, who's been there, and I think she challenged for the white belt, but came up short. I have to check the results, because again, it's hard to keep up with everything.
Dude,
and then I think about Starlight Kid, who definitely made a name for herself. I'm curious, actually, really, who could come up first with this.
Their Stardom thing is weird because their Stardom belt, they have the red strap and supposedly that's
white
the future
strap.
Stardom, and then they have the Goddess of Stardom, which is the white belt. I'm confused by it. What are we doing?
So let me try and help you through the ecosystem here because there is a lot of titles. There's the High Speed or High Velocity Championship, currently owned by Asume, which literally states what it is. Insane, fast offense. And of course,
I get that. Okay, so Stardom's
win.
X Division, got it.
Yeah, basically. You have the SWA Championship. That's the Championship of International in its own rights, where former Thekla was champion. I believe Mayu Utami is that now.
Okay, so
they're kind of like
the never openweight champion of Stardom.
Kind of, yeah, to a degree.
Okay, yeah.
So the white belt is considered the wonder of Stardom champion. You could say that maybe they're the future per se. It's the second highest belt in degree in the Stardom ecosystem.
Okay, so
currently held by Saya.
Okay, so the red belt is the
belt.
the red belt
World
is
Championship.
the World Championship, and then
World of
the
Stardom.
white belt is like the Intercontinental.
Yes.
Okay.
As far as
Got it.
far as the Goddesses one, there's 2 sets. There's a trio set,
Yep.
and then there's the tag team championships. That's the Stardom ecosystem.
Okay.
That's like the bit I got. Everything else I was so confused.
Well,
Right, I was
Thank you.
confused with that too.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Noah.
That's right. But Anthony, we know our brother Oos. I mean, he's gotta be pulling for Utami Hayashida. Go follow his Real Talk reviews, folks. Indigo, appreciate you, brother. But what's your thoughts towards this tournament? Do you have maybe a pick that you want to see, maybe win it from Stardom or internationally? You already know how I feel and who I want to see in it, but whether or not that happens, then suspension of disbelief.
Early thought, I agree with James on everything he touched on. I'm going to take it as a wait and see approach here. But if I was to give a complete prediction, Tommy.
Yeah, it really should be.
Hard to
Either
argue.
Tommy or Kairi, really.
Really, yeah.
I could also see Gabbert. I would not mind it being Jazzy Gabbert.
But I also think about those that actually follow New Japan and Stardom, and they know the actual Stardom talent. I also could see, like I said, Starlight Kid. Utami Hayashia was one of the most predominant holders of the red strap. And if international side's involved, Tony Storm is a former World of Stardom champion.
Oh,
Yeah, I could see them bringing in Hikaru Shida for it.
Jamie, well, no, Hikaru Shida's never. I don't think she's been involved in Stardom to my knowledge, but I know Jamie Hayter has. As again, I talked about time with Oedo Tai, and I would love to see her involved in this thing as well. Bottom line is this: I'm very optimistic to see how this further expands the Stardom identity and women's professional wrestling, and seeing how Stardom will be involved at Rumble on 44th Street, the upcoming WWE pay-per-view here in the States. Curious to see who's involved on that too. Also, as we've learned, thank God, Wrestle Kingdom's back to one night, and New Year's Dash is immediately the following day. Wrestle Kingdom is January 4th only, and New Year's Dash is back January 5th. It is not 2 days long.
Yeah, on a Wednesday.
They only did the 2 days thing because of the pandemic, right?
That's what I heard, but I feel like there was more to that per se.
I know they did the 2-night thing anyway in 2020 before it all went to shit.
Right.
So
I think it was Wrestle Kingdom 14 that they first did it, and then they did it again with 15 and 16. They've done it 3 years in a row.
And by the way, a 5-hour Wrestle Kingdom is much more able to be consumed than a freaking 2-night event in that regard, because they tried to book way too much on there. To this day, one of my favorite wrestling events of all time will forever be Wrestle Kingdom 12, because it is literally the perfect card. I can't think of a bad match on there. I can't think of a bad story on there. Literally every match delivered from top to bottom. It was fantastic all the way through. And there was no booking decision that I questioned. Nothing went wrong. Everything was the right outcome. Even the Okada thing, later on we found out what they were going to do with Naito the year following, which was a bigger story going in. I love it, I love it, I love it. Go watch Wrestle Kingdom 12 if you haven't. Yeah, go check out NWWworld.com. And as I close the page on the international affairs when it comes to Stardom ATW, again, they have their G1 going on that's much longer, their predominant tournament, the 5-Star Grand Prix, where they have their Red Stars and Blue Stars. And currently right now, Red Star, Asume has 10 points leading her block, and Blue Star right now is Hasuki leading with 14 points. Others following include the bearer of the white belt, Sayaka Matami, Mirai, and of course, Utami Hayashia, the former World of Stardom champion, who finally got pinned on the current one, Siri, and apologies if I screwed up that name. I've heard of Utami being really good.
Again, Utami Hayashia was the first ballot candidate for Professional Wrestler of the Year last year, women or man. Just saying. I'm glad that she got over her situations regarding some trouble she might have been having physically and mentally, too, according to what I used to read. Yeah. So go check that out, folks. You can. Again, follow Stardom World on YouTube to try and get a hold of some of the highlights of the latest matches and learn a bit about what they bring to a degree. All right, before we get into our main event, I'm just going to say a couple more things. Shout out to the all-women's promotion here in the States, CCW, Capital Championship Wrestling, as, sorry, Kayla Sparks, fell short to Vita Von Star, who is still the network champion. The mother effing king from Painesville, Ohio, Colin King, still holds their strap. And also, the Renegade Twins still hold the tag team championships. And, of course, the NWA celebrated the 74th anniversary, where, again, the most prolific champion of the industry, in my opinion, Camille, survived both Taya Valkyrie and Max the Impaler. You will not find somebody right now stronger than Camille as a champion in this wrestling industry. I was holding out for Colin King to win the Burke Invitational, but is what it is. Colin King, keep working, keep fighting. NWA, proceed with caution. You've been warned by me. Bringing CYN into your environment is a scary endeavor.
Not only is it a scary endeavor, well, just another line of bad Billy Corgan decisions. By the way, there was a couple comments. I don't want to just ignore the comment section. We have one more. No,
absolutely not.
Liz has been the main commenter. She says Kyrie was supposed to challenge for the white belt, but caught COVID and was replaced with that person you mentioned. So, damn, that makes me sad. That makes me sad.
It just goes to show that this world still is very much plague-filled. Don't take it for granted.
Yeah, by
Anyone
the way,
can get
my mom actually has COVID right now, which is scary.
Oh.
She's good though. She's got the vaccine. It's
Okay,
just like
good.
a cold, but you know.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
Still
but
stinky.
still, you proceed with caution is all I gotta say about that. All right, well, guys, again, we look at all things wrestling briefly to a degree. We talk about the WWE, NJW, NJPW, Stardom. We talk about NWA. We talk about Impact Wrestling. I'm sure you guys can think of an independent promotion. James, you could probably talk a little bit about maybe what Deadlock Pro's been doing and maybe what's something to watch from there. Anthony, I'm sure you have something to share. So before we get into AEW main event, and I'm just going to say a quick rundown of some AEW stuff. Can we line up on the theme shows? Because it almost was overkill to a degree, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was.
Fight for the Fallen, we had Shark Week, we had Fighter Fest, and we had the freaking Quake by the Lake, and we had now the HBO Max sponsored show with House of the Dragon. A lot of great matches across all those shows too, but I don't think every week or every few weeks you have to have a theme show per se on TV in AEW. Just saying.
No, please, enough of the theme shows.
And,
In
yeah.
fact, stop doing 2 nights of Fighter Fest, please. God.
Oh, you had 2 nights of Fight for the Fallen, I think, too.
Here's my recommendation. Any show that you think is like a big freaking deal, and I mentioned this I mentioned this idea. Anybody in the comment section, see if I'm off base here. I think what AEW is missing almost is like a Saturday night's main event type of show, and with all the networks that they have under the Warner Media Discovery banner now.
Right.
Here's my recommendation. Why not put an AEW special, like a Fighter Fest, like a Grand Slam, like whatever, even a Battle of the Belts maybe, on Discovery?
Not a bad idea, but again, we don't know necessarily how it works to necessarily set that up. Again, we do not work inside that. I love to. I kind of am curious, but I feel my brain would explode to actually see how this all comes to play, how it all unfolds. Just to put someone on like that, like just simply a freaking 1 hour Dynamite we once had on a Saturday night, where, again, God rest his soul, Brody Lee won the TNT Championship in record time against Cody. Remember that?
Right. Well, this is why I recommend that, because, right, with all this stuff going on, like, you have so many already. You're going to be doing 5 pay-per-views a year, right? And you're trying to do all these special shows on TBS, TNT, whatever.
Right.
I think the better option, personally, is to just have those shows, or some of those special shows. Not all of them. You can still have your TNT and TBS specials, whatever. But I think you should save big specials and put them on Discovery. Have them on for 3 hours, 4 hours, however long you want it. Just like kind of you know how like the UFC used to do specials on Fox?
Yes.
It's kind of the same principle. Back when WWE was trying to get into the market in the US, and they did Saturday night's main event, and they did their highest TV rating with Hogan and Andre too, right? So,
Right.
Quote unquote Hogan and Andre too. That did like record numbers. So stuff like that, you're getting a new audience. That's kind of like the reason why I'm going with that. Yes, your fans are going to tune in because it's an AEW product. But you're also drawing in new eyes to people that would have never heard AEW before if it wasn't for that. That might watch on a casual basis. I know my uncle didn't watch every episode of The Ultimate Fighter, but he'd always order the UFC pay-per-views, or he'd watch UFC specials on Fox and invite us over.
There you go.
It's kind of the same principle, I think.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more pros for both Discovery and AEW to put a special on there than there are negatives.
And regardless, I mean, if you just try to reach out to somebody else or something else, or take a different approach to somebody else, I definitely agree with what you're saying. And again, we think about everything that's been going on in AEW. We had Shark Week with Discovery. We had Fighter Fest. Let's not talk about Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho.
No.
Let's not talk about that.
Never again. You know what? At this point, because I don't care, Eddie Kingston won, and screw the actual walk-up. All right, cool.
Okay, I agree. So that.
Yeah, cool.
We had the Royal Rampage where they used the 2 reigns to a degree. That devolved into a story
That was
short term
cool.
with Brody King and Darby Allin. We saw how that ended with a coffin match where it seems like Darby can't lose a freaking coffin match.
Royal Rampage, a.k.a. World War III, done better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to a degree. It was super quick though as well. So no kidding. We of course talk about Battle of the Belts. We of course had Quake by the Lake with Lionheart, Chris Jericho, and Jon Moxley. We've had House of the Dragon with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Dragon Slayer vs. American Dragon, promoting House of the Dragon. I just said Dragon.
Kenny
way too
Omega
many
returned
times.
on that show.
Yeah, and it's been a whole different lifeblood in AEW. Trios titles are being established, and at one point you got Vance Warner versus Jon Moxley. I was like, what the hell? But the guy fights.
On Rampage. On freaking Rampage.
As an opener match, just
Yes.
saying.
Yeah.
So it's been a wild time in the AEW environment and in wrestling in general. So before we get into AEW Out Loud, anything else you guys have anything to add regarding anything else in all things wrestling?
Deadlock Pro
What?
Wrestling, I believe, is taking a break, but we'll be doing sporadic TV tapings and then shows. Because they originally... I think a lot of people were wondering why they're not doing a DPW Fire. They are still doing DPW Fire for those a fan of Deadlock Pro.
Alright.
Listening to the podcast, they want to do the show when they know they're going to schedule a pay-per-view, number one. And number two, they don't want to be as stressed. They want to just...
That's a wise move.
They want to just pay their talent when they know they're going to have a show and they're not stressing out and trying to do all of this at once. On top of the podcast, on top of Johnny doing his stuff and New Legacy, on top of Tony doing his stuff, and on top of James trying to, balance all that.
Good lord.
They want to kind of... Basically, they're taking a break for now, but they'll come back eventually. They'll do TPW Fire tapings into their next pay-per-view. It won't be anytime soon, but it will be probably 2 months down the line because James Darnell and everybody in company needs a mental break.
Yes.
To be fair, everyone needs a mental break once in a while. In general, just talking and looking and watching wrestling. Again, after this weekend, Monday, I'm not doing anything. I probably would catch Elevation on Tuesday.
I agree.
Because I'm going to be burnt out.
Same.
Thank God. Hey, thank God no, Owen's doing Spark, huh?
And again, he keeps it ignited, and I'm proud of what he's doing. Respect. And also respect to Kenzie Page finally branching out, holding on to her first championship at NWA. Very happy for her. She's been one of my favorites, bright up-and-comers to follow. I like seeing talent flourish that I believe deserves it and definitely put in the work to go for it. I'm curious how Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez plays out because, again, that's two definitely promising talents in the WWE ecosystem, even if it's under not my NXT. Butcher and the Blade more in AEW, but I digress. Happy birthday, Allie, by the way. All the best to Laura Denise in her recovery. And that being said, I don't think I really have much more. Oh, that's right. One more thing. Mickie James is on her last rodeo. She's going to try and go for the entire Knockouts division, bomb the top, and then claim the championship. Once she does that, she can say that she's done everything. She's defined her legacy. If she loses any match before that, she's going home for good.
Or so you think, wink, wink. Later will be explained.
Chasing the Dragon. Oh, I'm well aware. Trust me. And all the best to Kyle O'Reilly, who, of course, is dealing with surgery. And, again, all the best to anybody right now dealing with injuries in and out of any wrestling company. Because, again, safety should matter the most. And I know it could be hard for when you can't do something you love, in this case, a wrestler doing wrestling, how do you use your time? Chris Statlander, I know, literally almost went insane last time because he literally said that on AEW Unrestricted. So I wish everybody all the best. All right, folks, that being said, we devolved, we've talked, we digested, we've ranted, we've fantasy booked, particularly him. A lot of things and all things wrestling. Let's go ahead and get to our main event as we now focus on the Supercard of the Year, and Tony Khan once again has one-upped himself versus last year. AEW All Out will be presented Sunday night. Yes, it's Sunday night. Damn it. On the Bleacher Report app and Fight App International. Check your local cable and satellite providers for pay-per-views too. And we have, I kid you not, I can't believe I'm saying this number, 15 matches. 4 on the 0 hour for free on YouTube and AEW social media, and 11 matches on the main pay-per-view. What I will say about AEW versus the other companies, WWE in particular, They don't waste your time with pointless sponsoring. They don't waste your time talking about this and that and this. They don't waste your time doing superstar spotlighting. And they seriously just keep the focus on the wrestling. Moving forward, one match at a time, a decent pace. When I think about this, main event, or main pay-per-view, probably 4 hours, if that. So
the 0 hour for AEW or the buy-in for AEW is literally, imagine back in the Attitude Era when Sunday Night Heat used to matter as a pre-show. That's basically what it is.
Yeah. Yep.
You got championships being defended. You got all sorts of wrestling being presented, and you even have interpromotional affair being revisited. So without further ado, gentlemen, let's get right into it. I'm not going to go, well, actually, I will keep it simple. I think we can start with the quickest match I think of the entire show. Hook defends the FTW Championship against Cool Hand Angelo Parker of the Jericho Appreciation Society, as we have a professional wrestler fighting a sports diener. And we saw what happened tonight on the Rampage, where it looked like Hook wanted a taste. It's going to get a taste. I think the only one that's going to get a taste of something is a taste of red rum, and he's not going to like it. Maybe. I have Hook winning. You don't know. I don't know. I mean, again, does Killer Kelly opponents like when they, strangle her in the clutch? I know Kelly has some sort of euphoria from it, and that's her choices. That being said, yeah, let's just talk about it right now. Matt Menard's been top. Yeah, I know I said that. And I've never seen the show either. I never understood. Okay. Anyway, come on, guys, hold it together. But hey, at least it woke you up. I'm gonna ask you one question. Hook, over or under 3 minutes in this match? Anthony, I'll start with you.
Under. Sorry.
All right. Well, James, start with you, Luke.
Hook, under one.
Under one. Under one. Oh.
Damn.
Whoa.
All right.
Whoa.
Screw you, Angelo Parker. Whoa.
You're gonna get a taste. Yeah. I got a taste. I didn't like the taste.
You're gonna need some mouthwash after this.
Bro, you lost.
Or hair gel.
Bro, you lost in a minute. Yeah, no. Wasn't a good taste. I didn't like how we tasted it. It didn't taste good. Tasted like aftershave and salt. A lot of chips that dude eats.
I'm not sure what sort of chips Hook likes, whether they're classic Lay's or salt and vinegar. Either way, I think Hook definitely is the guy to keep the title here. All right, short, sweet, simple.
That's
folks, really
sports entertainment. Sponsored by Lay's.
Okay, now I want to see that actually be a thing.
Please.
Oh, God. All right,
this
good
sports
stuff.
Entertainment production is brought to you by Lay's Potato Chips. We actually got the sponsor. Hook, fuck you. You don't get it. We get it. Because we want a taste of the new Pringles. Oh, I'm sorry, Lay's. Shit. I fucked up the sponsor. Angelo! I fucked it up. God damn it. Matthew!
Damn it, James! You freaking idiot!
I tried.
He did. He does it again.
God, that was brilliant, though. Oh, Lord, I'm broken. I feel like somebody's going to get broken in this match, though, especially after what he did, and I saw it live, and I can appreciate a man in a good suit. And we'll see if we embrace the change. Better than what Joe Gacy's spewing and not my NXT. As Kip Sabian is back in in-ring action, challenging for the AEW All-Atlantic Championship against the Bastard Pac.
Oh my God, I just realized what Angelo Parker and Matt Menard are.
Uh-oh.
They're
what?
literally roasting D'Angelo's group.
I don't know.
Think about it. The overdramatic freaking mob boss mentality they got, it's literally, they're mocking D'Angelo's thing.
Okay, there might be some similarities there, but we all know the guy, Cole Carter, that was a part of that, now part of the factory.
Sorry.
Whatever reason.
Continue.
No. I like you putting the perspectives in there. And again, I feel this match is easy to call because, again, Kip, he hasn't wrestled in how long because of a broken hand?
Yeah.
And I don't know if the Super Bad Girl is going to be in his corner to actually play some sort of, tangible, per se, in his favor, like when they first started Dark and it was Kenny Omega versus Kip. One of the most underrated matches in AEW Dark history, in my opinion.
Yes.
That being said, if Pac wasn't pissed off before, and he's always pissed off to a degree, what happened live, that I saw live in Cleveland, just took Pac to a whole new level of angry ferocity that he's going to unleash on Kip. Kip's going to need more than a box on his head when this is over. He might need a brace. I have Pac retaining.
I agree.
James, your thoughts on this?
I agree. I would say that maybe, the super bad girl could be in his corner, but I hope that doesn't require her wearing a box, because I don't think that's good for business. She's too pretty to wear a box, I'm just saying. But yeah, Pac wins. Pac wins, lol. Here. Like, Kip ain't winning, nor should he. Pac just won the damn belt. Pac has been defending it a lot. You're not going to freaking change the title right away. By the way, this is a crying shame that this is the first time the actual belt has been defended on AEW television. And I don't count Dark because that was in an indie promotion. Come on.
Yeah, and that's kind of the perception they've been giving this title as he defended it in Red Pro against Shota Umino, for those that don't remember.
Great. That match freaking ruled.
He said he then defended it against somebody, I believe, in Germany. I forget the name, and somebody in Italy. All were great bouts, but I think Shota was definitely the best. But yeah, I just don't see Pac losing. So, Anthony, we all got Pac pretty much retaining. I imagine the same thing. Who should challenge Pac realistically that could be a threat to him in this championship?
First of all, Pac wins by either Black Arrow or Rings of Saturn. Second of all, who will be a threat to Pac? If he's still continuing to defend all across the globe, shoot.
Andrade. Triple A probably, and then have a rematch.
Pac and Andrade ran back?
Yeah. That match ruled anyway. I could see those two go for hours.
I saw their first one live. I remember that saga, Andrade and Pac, so I kind of like that idea.
Well, there's a few things you could do, because you could obviously do Pac. You could do Andrade and Triple A. You could also do Andrade and him on AEW, just so that way the belt's finally defended on Dynamite or Rampage. Right. You could also do, for your next Ring of Honor special, him and Roosh, which makes a lot of sense. Or anybody in the Ring of Honor side. Maybe bring it to Progress. Maybe him and Jonathan Gresham, have him retain. Something like that. I know he's still doing some stuff there in Progress. ICW. They're allowing uncontracted talent there. It's stuff that makes sense. Like, even New Japan Strong would make a lot of sense,
Because that's right here in America. Shout out to the first tag team champions, by the way, Aussie Open.
Yes, indeed. So you could do that, and I don't know, maybe what promotions are there in Canada? Are there any promotions in Canada?
There's Smash Wrestling, where I first discovered the Demon versus Slayer saga with Impact Wrestling's Rosemary and now AEW's Ali, former Cherry Bomb.
Well, we might as well go to Smash then. Go Smash! Go Smash, Doc. Go Smash.
That's where Speedball Mike Billy also came from, too, and he recently went back there for a homecoming show. So, yeah, there's promotions in Canada. Eh?
There is.
All right. So,
I'm sorry I said Smash.
Sorry.
But I mean, again, that's one of the promotions. So I mean, what be sorry about?
Hey, I don't
they
know.
once had a summit also like that, and 3 other promotions too. So there you go.
You think wrestlers in Smash's favorite? What do you think their favorite pastime is? Smashing each other or playing Super Smash Brothers?
If you ask the Dark Order, who are the former Smash Bros.
Well,
I think, or that was the former name.
If you're asking the original members of the Dark Order, the answer to both questions is yes.
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 And Stu Grayson, all the best wherever you are. And shout out to the AEW Fight for a Video game. We are not monetized by it, but I guarantee you, we're all 3 going to be playing it.
Yes.
Speaking of Stu Grayson, shout out to him, as him and Evil Uno will be taking part in JD's House of Glory show against the Briscoes for the House of Glory World Tag Team Championships. I forgot if it's this month, which is like sometime, I think next week, I believe.
Nice.
Oh, in other words, they're trying to redo a pay-per-view. They're trying to get back in the good graces of people they pissed off in the last pay-per-view.
I mean,
because that pay-per-view fucking is all over the place.
I'm about to say, House of Glory is one of those promotions that has promise, but then...
Yeah, and then it tapers off, basically.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Which is a shame, really. All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about this match. You were about to be shameful of AEW's booking, but they did book them onto the show, but it is 0 hour. As the Triple A Mixed Tag Team Championship...
Both are on 0 hour, so I'm okay with it.
Okay, well, there you go.
Okay.
The Triple A Mixed Tag Team Champions are on the line as Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello defend the gold against Ortiz and Ruby Soho, where Ruby got the quick roll-up win to 9-8. Well, previously, yesterday, for those that are, here on the East Coast with me.
It's 1:31.
I haven't looked at the clock. Basically, yeah, they got the winner to Rampage via roll-up, and now they have a chance at the titles. Again, I feel like Cindy, go follow her on Twitch, summed it up perfectly. Johnny Elite gets cleared, Tyler Bach, Johnny Elite, take the titles off of them, take them to Triple Liga. I don't see the titles changing hands. I got the champs retaining. Anthony?
I got champs retaining. I got Sammy and Ty Mello. They retaining.
James?
Why are we saying retaining? Repeated Ortiz won the belts tonight on Rampage. It just won the belt. Regaining? Is that the word? It's regaining the belts.
You're regaining the belts. All right.
They're regaining the belts. Regaining entertainment. So,
to be fair,
yes.
Anna JS might come into play here.
No.
Just saying, it could
Don't
happen.
just put her back with John
Accept
Silver
that
and
it could
Don-
happen.
No! Because Anna J is cringe and JAS. Anna J was funny cringe in Dark Order.
Yeah, now she's just cringe.
I took you out, I took you out, I took you out, I took you out.
She is the least intimidating woman I have ever seen in my life.
Right?
Like,
she doesn't even come off as intimidating. She just comes off as...
She just comes across as, like, trying to be mean but can't be mean. You know what I mean? Like,
fair.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, for me. It just
trying
don't work.
to be the character when at heart you're not. It's like investing yourself in what you're doing. This just doesn't feel like it fully fits.
I don't know what it is, like, because even when she first was in the Dark Order and she was the Queen Slayer, she was way better there as a heel than she is right now.
Yeah.
I'm not enjoying it.
I think it first started off with her barely speaking, and more so her actions speaking for her when she just came out at times as a presence, and then when she was in action, no words, straight to business. And again, she has great potential, but this character development right now, malfunction, but I digress.
Malfunction at the junction. What's your conjunction?
Putting all words and never mind. Sorry, that's a throwback for me. That being said, this isn't karaoke night. I would like to see Tajay versus Diamante and Ruby Soho. Be quiet. But again, we'll have to wait and see. All right, now for the match that matters the most on 0 Hour that I feel could be the leader into defining the next challenger for the Ultimate Championship for the guy that's going to get a chance to even try and go after it because of injury. Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii taking on Eddie Kingston 2. After their first clash at Capital Collision, where it was Strong Style versus Kings Road. It was the Stone Pitbull, Pitbull, I believe, that got the victory. Eddie Kingston looking to get it back. Both of these men, they're willing to fight anybody on this planet, and they're willing to fight until their last breath. I get that Kingston's in AEW, but I feel Ishii, if he gets the win, it's bounce back momentum from the G1. I know he'll be fighting everywhere, but that could lead to a challenger for the All-Atlantic Championship.
Yes.
So I got Ishii going over here.
I do too, and if for no other reason than that motherfucker pie-face Sammy, and that dude needs more help than anger management because, man, the state of you, mate. I don't know what is going on with his beard. I don't know what's going on with his hair, but you need to go back to the way you were before and just basically not be this. I don't know what's been going on with Eddie, but it is not great. So, he needs... If a loss he needs, this is the loss he needs or something, you know. So be it. Like, I'd rather Ishii win anyway for all the reasons you mentioned.
Anthony, anything further to add?
This part 2 between these two is going to be no different.
No, it's going to be great.
I'm expecting hard hitting just like it was back in Washington.
Someone's going to get their jaw jacked and knocked out.
I got Ishii winning, and hopefully that leads to Ishii finally be a contendership to face Pac for the All-Atlantic Championship.
I agree.
There you go. All right, let's go ahead and get into this main pay-per-view, folks. Yeah, again, that's all for free. Get that? That's for free. So go check out the Sports Entertainment and Professional Wrestling.
You get a taste! You get a taste!
You want a taste? You want a taste of what AEW brings? Go check out 0 Hour. All right, that's enough of that. Enough of that. All right, we're gonna go off on a tangent here. All right.
What in the hell did he say?
Yeah, well, no, wait, why would I say Sports Entertainment, man? You're gonna talk about pro wrestling right now.
You doing a Boomhauer impression?
Hey, man, you're talking about Boom
I
Tower.
was doing a JR impression.
I know. Good old JR. Oh, JR. Good luck with this night. God help you.
Oh,
I bet you they pull what they have been doing with Dynamite, where he just comes out in the second half of the show.
Well, considering that the main show literally consists of 11 matches, probably not a bad idea. Here we go. Let's go ahead and start with this grudge match, as this pay-per-view this year, I have to say, really more emotionally driven and focused on selling grudges, or at least evening scores per se, while also raising a lot of up-and-coming promising talent that's been thriving to a degree in AEW and now trying to branch out on their own. I think this match personifies that, but will be an absolute statement. Ricky Starks takes on Powerhouse Hobbs one-on-one. Anthony, take away the backstory on this and give us your pick first.
Well, it all started when Ricky had an open challenge, and this was after the match he had for the ATW Championship. Out came Hook. Hook beat Ricky in the Kata Hachime, as I call it, aka Red Club, Man of Tag. And Ricky cut an emotional promo with Shivani. Until Hobbs came in and it got him from behind on his neck.
Ouch. And
Hobbs is saying, like, I'm not okay being a loser. So, and it led to Ricky cutting another babyface promo, which, Jesus, Ricky being a babyface right now, generational, in my opinion, generational.
Yeah, dude.
And
yeah, no kidding. Like this dude, if MJF comes back, God hope he does.
We'll talk more about that later.
Wins their title. You're looking at AEW Revolution main event. Ricky Starks and MJF. I'm telling you,
I love that.
That's how crazy good Ricky is. He's already one of the best talkers. He's already one of the most invested characters. You got to be pushing this guy to the top, dog.
And of course, Ricky needs to deserve to be pushed to the top. I mean, TNT title, AEW title, out. And plus, let's not forget about Hobbs here. Hobbs has established himself as a monster heel as well. And I feel like with these two, I'm torn between both of these two because I like both. I like both of these gentlemen. But if we're going to push Ricky here, I got to give the win to Ricky.
I agree. Got to be the Ricky.
I feel like this is just the first chapter in what could be a very long-term rivalry. So yeah, I got Ricky Starks too. It's as simple as that, at least for now. And this is going to be a mean bout, to say the least. Again, former members of Team Taz. I wonder if Taz is actually going to be commentating this match. Now, wouldn't that be interesting? All right, let's move forward. AEW Trios match, and not the only one. But this Trios match, we're going to ask ourselves one question. Does the house always win, or does the Redeemer have a guardian angel that will carry him forward hand in hand? It is the House of Black taking on Darby Allin and Miro. And this all really stems back from that miss back at the Forbidden Door in Miro's face, preventing him from winning the AEW All-In Championship. And then we saw the fallout with Darby Allin and Brody King. And then we saw Sting get missed in the face. And then we saw Miro have a resolution to break these pagans. And he's already cost them the AEW Trios tournament. I'm kind of annoyed by that. Well, there's one thing that's for sure about this is that Sting doesn't lose on pay-per-view, but if you ask me who needs to win more, it's the House of Black to actually have something going for them. So I'm going to say the House at least wins here, or should. Hook or by crook, I don't care. They need to win. James, your thoughts on this?
I agree. Time for the House of Black to get a win, and I can't think of a bigger win than Sting, against Sting, Darby, and Miro, especially with Sting taking the fall. And who knows, we might get a turn from Miro to join the House of Black. And it was all news.
Okay, that's a bold claim. I do believe that Sting might be making people nervous because we know that mist is still on his face. And I'm still waiting for the theatrical climax between Sting and Malachi Black. That's something to come. But King, I think of the end game of this being Miro versus Malachi Black. Neither men are involved in the decision. It devolves down to the other four involved and maybe Julia Hart. So who's your pick?
give the House of Black the win here because, well, like you mentioned, that miss is still on Sting's eye. So, Sting, like James alluded to, Sting takes the pinfall.
All right, there you go. It'd be the first pinfall he would take in AEW.
Or maybe,
just saying.
or maybe Sting turns on Miro and Darby. Joins the house.
That too.
Get corrupted by the Ugangas, and yeah, that could be a thing.
What is
All
it?
right.
What is it called?
I don't know.
Ugangas? Ugangas.
I think it's called that. I think it's related to his theme.
Who's what's it's the what to who's
Go look at the name of the theme and get back with me. That will tell you.
Troost. That's what it's called.
That. Thank you. That.
Trust?
No, Ugan Troost.
This is turned into a grammar course with phonetics.
Ugan, huh?
It's Dutch folklore. Just go along with it. All right.
Sports.
The manifestation.
Entertainment.
Oh Lord. The manifestation that's consuming more and more and more of the human soul of Malachi Black, where he's losing control.
Well, he's consuming my fucking mind and making me dumber by proxy. Bugenhagen.
Well,
Bugenhagen. That's what it stands for. Bugenhagen.
No, not Bugenhagen. He's over.
Get well soon, Rick Boogs.
Yes.
Let's get back to this. I do want to see Pat McAfee dance on the table, though, if Drew McIntyre comes out to Broken Dreams. I'm going to say that right now. I hope that happens. Drew for the win. But I digress. Good company. Out of time. It says, stop turning this into karaoke before you get copyright strike. All right? Yeah. Cut the shit. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and talk about the TBS Championship. Hey, how's that for a segue for you? As we look to see if Jade Cargill will continue to lead that bitch show and hold the TBS Championship as she takes on Athena, already made this personal, destroying her property, and good lord, that face-to-face where she was just literally turning her tots in the hand and shove off, and Athena just got in there. Up and personal. Anthony, your thoughts towards this match, and let's just put it out there, it would have been Chris Statlander. It should still come. Hopefully it will next time she comes back. Chris, get well soon.
Now, Chris is supposed to be the one to face Jade at All Out, but apparently injuries have sent her back once again.
Big time.
And this is where, do I really think Athena should get the win here? If so, good. But also, at the same time, if Jade gets the win here, who else is there left?
Yeah.
To face Jade at this point?
At this point, you got to bring in either Camille or you got to bring up Kaylee Rossi and Pronto because Kayla Rossi's more than ready.
And this is where I'm like literally, actually 100% genuinely torn because I like both of these ladies and both of these ladies have always, showed out and showed up performances.
Yes.
Right.
Athena needs to take it here. I feel like yes, I said it. I'll admit it's Athena's time. Athena needs to be the one to take Jade off, get that title off of Jade. And I feel like if she's ready, like I'm talking main event AEW Women's World Championship ready, so be it. Because if you put the title on Jade still after All Out, like I said, who else do you have left?
Well,
you want to go look at the AEW Women's roster page and get back with me?
Well, okay, so this is my thing though. It really comes down to a couple things. One, Red Velvet returns from injury. Number two, if somehow she is not going to be back with the WWE, which is actually looking more and more likely by the day, Mercedes, a.k.a. the former Sasha Banks, joins up. Because then you have to find opponents for Jade to
Well, I mean, Tony did say on Busted Open Radio Wednesday morning, saying, after All Out, expect this roster to be 100% better and stronger.
And we got W. Morrissey now in the pocket of Stokely.
Yeah, so
you're on to something with that. You're on to something.
You really are.
That's a reason why I say that, because I don't think it's as clear cut as we thought it would be the minute Triple H got back. Because I do think Naomi might. I don't think it's clear cut if especially when they give him the freaking champions are a makeshift team anyway in WWE. So I very much doubt that they're coming back after that. That was probably the straw that broke the camel's back.
Probably.
Probably so.
So my recommendation, honest to God, is probably going to be her coming to AEW, and if that's the case, you have to find opponents for Jade to fight, because you cannot take the belt off her and then not put Mercedes in the baddies, have her win the Women's World Championship, and then have, Red Velvet win the interim Ring of Honor Women's Championship if she can come back. And then find a way to team up Kiera Hogan, back up with Tasha Steelz and Impact, and win the Knockouts Tag Team titles.
Fire and flavor.
That would make the most sense to me, because there's not many times you are going to have a female faction dominate two different companies. Especially, I'm not even factoring in Savannah Evans, who also could be Knockouts champion, realistically, if you think about it. This is your best bet. This is your best bet to go all out with that. Otherwise, I think it's a huge missed opportunity. But it also depends if Mercedes is even signed. If not, then yeah, get the belt off her. So, it's not clear cut. It's not clear cut.
And plus, All Out has been the event to where we don't know who to expect. Just take last year, for example.
Yeah.
Definitely. You had Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson at the end, and Minoru Suzuki during the middle of it.
Yep.
Exactly.
I like that outlook. Oh, yeah, that's right. I like that outlook a lot, but I also think about this. How often does Jade Cargill defend the TBS championship? She more so just talks and then just waits for something to happen, or does open challenge. And let's be honest here, the dark roster is a deeper women's division right now than the actual division on hand because of all the injuries.
I agree.
So, again, I still think about the end game, but Kayla Rossi is a great potential next challenger for this title, and I could see them going for that, especially as we know the next Battle of Belts will be in October. I actually have Jay still retaining. I just don't think Athena right now is the one to do it off her. Despite the personal animosity angle we're definitely getting out of Athena more than ever, especially after what happened on Rampage. That was a heck of a friggin' volatile situation. Good job, Mark Henry. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's another thing, too, is that you talk about Dark. Dark does have women that she could defend a title against. Diamante, sign her already.
Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that. I swear I'll rant about that.
You got Diamante, you got Kylie King, you got names that you bring to Dark. Just bring them to Dynamite and have them fight for the title.
Oh, hell, the King right now, who holds 3 singles women's championships across 3 different independent promotions. Just saying.
Exactly. So that's something, right?
Yeah, respect that freaking wrestler. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. So I'm glad to see that we weren't all even there. I'm very intrigued. Let's see if we're all even here as we got another grudge match. Man, let's talk about a show of grudge matches. As Jungle... Oh, excuse me. It's not Jungle Boy. He will be fighting as the son of the late, great Jack Perry.
Yep. Finally. Finally, he's Jack Perry. I'm loving this, man.
Jack Perry takes on Christian Cage, where he's out to destroy him, and we already know Christian Cage is coming out in here with a bum limp. But again, is Christian working everybody? Is Luchasaurus the factor or not considering? Does emotion come into play and be the downfall of Christian Cage or Jungle Boy? I'm still going to say Jungle Boy because that's what it says in the graphic. And even if the match is won by the babyface, is the story told to the fullest, or does a new arc happen afterwards too? Again, this is one of those matches that I do look at both sides. Either side could take this, especially with the savvy Christian Cage that will take advantage at any given moment too. And I really wonder how much that arm is actually hurt, or if that brace can be used as a weapon. Just saying. Looking at the match, though, thinking about the emotional effect that's had on him, especially bringing in family. I mean, you don't get more emotional than family. I kind of am leaning towards Young Perry to get the win here, so I am going with Jungle Boy in the match. But I don't think this story is far from over, and we're going to get a different emotional take come after this, too.
Maybe.
So, that being said, James, your thoughts towards this?
I think Christian's gonna take it because of some shenanigans. I don't think they're gonna do two baby faces in a row winning in personal grudges. And the number one reason I have is this. What are you going to do with Jungle Boy after this? It seems like they have a lot more plans for Christian Cage following this than they do for Jungle Boy, at least right now. I don't think that means that, Jungle Boy won't be used in the future. Obviously, he's going to be used in the future, but...
I'll say, he's a mainstay. He's a pillar, dude. Just put it out there.
Right. Well, so was MJF, but now we're not so sure.
That's a whole different reason.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Jungle Boy is difficult because I feel like they don't have anything planned after this, right?
Right.
But
as we know,
they're gonna have stuff planned for Christian. And if you are gonna continue this feud ultimately, probably makes more sense for Christian to heel to get the win here. And then Jungle Boy to win the blow off. I could see an unsanctioned match between these two.
Fair. Fair. I feel like Anthony, the Unsanctioned could be the next part of this, depending on what happens. But this is pay-per-view, and does Christian Cage really need a win on pay-per-view? He's a main man. The veterans should be used to push forward the future. The younger town AEW. When I first saw Christian Cage and Jungle Boy become a kind of mentor and peer type thing, I was like, this is the guy that's going to work and push this young man into the future. I think it starts here, so that's my take. So what's your take on this?
Now, the take I have away with this is Luchasaurus being the factor because we have not heard or seen from Luchasaurus since that quote-unquote suspension.
True.
That's what all comes into play here because, yeah, he's got he's still got the, dark mask, dark attire and everything. Still coming out. He's coming out of the face tunnel. Still, Jungle Boy is still Jurassic Express. But like Christian's shirt says, worked everyone. Like you said, is that what he's alluding to here? I'm going with the emotionally driven storyline here, and I'm basically having Jack Perry take the win here.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the rivalry goes, I don't think we're done by a long shot.
All right. Again, the thing about this pay-per-view, so many of the matches, at least on the main show, are very polarizing and have very compelling cases to go either way. So again, as we look towards what's next in AEW, who's to truly say?
Yeah,
all right.
Hey, I don't know about that, man. Angelo Parker and Hook is pretty unpredictable. I don't know. Angelo Parker could take that coma hit.
Look, we're just waiting for Matt Menard to finally be able to wrestle again, and then you'll get Matt Menard versus Hook, and it'll probably be longer than this. Let's just put it out there.
Oh my God! Wow, poor Angelo.
Matt Menard is the guy right now with more star power, in my opinion, out of the two, and he proves it with just a little bit of the humor and character he brings on commentary.
Yep. You saying he's giving you a little taste?
You give me a taste every week on commentary. I like when he and Scalper throw down, even though they go against each other. Over or under, Scalper? 3 minutes, come on. On Serena Deeb matches, it's like, that's brilliant. That's entertainment. That literally is entertainment for me.
I love that, actually. That's been a highlight of Dark Elevation for me.
Yeah, a more worthwhile commentary team for y'all to listen to. I've heard the discrepancies when it comes to Mark Henry. Well, that's what it is.
Yeah, he reacted when somebody got their head freaking smashed into the barricade, though.
Yeah, no animal sound required. All right. Let's go ahead and look at this trios match, because, oh, shit. Wardlow, the TNT champion, not defending the title in 6-man tag team action. Tagging
Again,
alongside.
by the way, again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't remind me. Tagging alongside Superstar FTR, the current AAA Ring of Honor and IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, taking on the trio of Jay Lethal and Impact Wrestling's Motor City Machine Guns. And to think, this all basically is just building towards Jay Lethal, Wardlow 2. But, looking at this, is there something more to come too? Maybe FTR literally goes to Impact Wrestling? I'm keeping it short, sweet, and simple. I understand the power when it comes to just the look of FTR and Wardlow. All that gold. They are a pinnacle trio right now in AEW, and they are on top. But if you're going to give any sort of credibility to the challenger for the title, Jay Lethal needs to get the win here. Pinfall, somehow roll up. That seems to be the stage with pro wrestling anyway. On one member of FTR. I've already seen him beat Dax Harwood, but we also saw Dax Harwood be triggered tonight by one half of the Motor City Machine Guns. And if the Motor City Machine Guns beat FTR, I see them going to Impact Wrestling for a match. Let's freaking go. So I actually am going with the challengers here. This might be the one match that shoots me in the foot, but something different needs to happen if you're going to continue Jay Lethal and Wardlow. The only reason I see Wardlow and FTR winning is if you bury Jay Lethal. I know that's harsh to say, but you take him out of the TNT title picture and once again try to breathe new life in the TNT Championship. That's my take. Anthony, your thoughts and pick towards this match?
If we're going to get Wardlow and Jay Lethal too, I'm with you on this one. I got Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns because hopefully the payoff will lead into FTR going over to Impact. We're finally going to basically get Motor City Machine Guns and FTR, which I don't understand why you could have just had Motor City Machine Guns and FTR for the pay-per-view and had Jay Lethal and Wardlow for the pay-per-view for the TNT Championship.
I agree.
That
would have been just simple as that. But I'm going with Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns.
And also, James, as you always wait for, you're waiting for the giant Satnam Singh to finally clash with Wardlow too. Who's to say he won't play an X Factor in this? There's no further factors involved on top guys in the champ's side. Who's to say they won't come into play in this?
Bro, I agree with King. I mean, now it's got to be Motor City and Jay. It has to be. I don't understand why we have to keep doing this to the TNT title. Listen, don't get me wrong. Am I excited for the match? Yes. I mean, the match is stacked, but the TNT title needs to be defended on fucking pay-per-view. And literally, the last time it was defended on pay-per-view was Full Gear of 2019. Or, I'm sorry, 2019. 2021, I think.
2021.
Yes.
You're right. I get you. You're all right.
Revolution, it wasn't defended.
No.
Nope.
Freaking Double or Nothing, it wasn't defended.
No.
Nope.
Forbidden Door, it wasn't even defended.
No.
Nope.
That's 3 pay-per-views in a row where this fucking belt is not defended.
Correct.
No more. After this, book that shit on Full Gear.
Which apparently will be right here on the east side, apparently.
Newark, New Jersey, Saturday, November 19th.
Interesting. Alright, well, we'll see what happens there, but at least we're all in agreement. Respect the TNT Championship.
Yes.
Digress. Alright. Now, no. AEW World Tag Team Championships are on the line as Swerve in Our Glory. I'm, of course, talking about Limits 1 Keith Lee and St. Strickland look to crush the scissors of the Acclaimed. I'm, of course, talking about Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. AEW World Tag Team Champions are on the line. I still think that this is their house, and I do believe that the champs are going to retain. James, your thoughts on this match where, simple rock, paper, scissors metaphor, rock beats scissors?
Just, I don't know. This is the least heat, honestly. I was expecting
really
a
is.
rap battle between at least Swerve and Max. That's
I'm sure there'll be a Don DeMarco try line this Sunday at the pay-per-view by Max at least, but yeah.
I don't know, man. It is what it is. I mean, it's gonna be a good match, but I don't know. They just found a way to just with it. If the Acclaimed win, good in my book. Anything is better than what they've been treating the AEW tag titles as of late. We just need to get to FTR already. We do.
Simple as that.
That's all I have to say, really.
Anthony, anything further to add? Are you going to scissors with them, or are you going to go with the champs? Again, you kind of have a little bit of something on both sides when it comes to your fandom and opinion. But Swerving Our Glory, are they just waiting for top guys at this point? Because was the Acclaim just an audible because every other team was involved in the Trios tournament?
Yes, the Acclaim was audible because if you look at the rankings, yes, they are number 3 on the rankings, but I felt like this was an audible because FTR is busy, as we know, they're busy with Jay Lethal and MCMG. This was placed basically an audible. What's this? Oh, no scissors. No, we in Chicago. Swerving Our Glory going to retain, and they're going to show why. And I'll be using a Chicago reference. Shout out to all my Bulls fans that are watching it.
All right.
This is basically Keith Lee being Scottie Pippen, Swerve being Michael. Swerving Our Glory retained.
Okay.
I feel like Max Cash is going to pull out a Keenan and Kel line in his rap. Just saying.
Maybe.
Orange soda. Oh, here it goes.
Don
Lord.
DeMarco, yay.
I don't know if you would call that Don DeMarco, per se.
I call the way they've been booking the tag titles and the TNT title Don DeMarco. Yes, I am. Yes, sir.
Bang, bang, bang,
For
bang.
a whole different reason.
Fair enough.
Damn, man. Stop.
Well, let's see how much you talk about this one. I'm just going to say the name of the participants, and I'm going to have James kick this one off first. AEW Interim Women's World Championship Fatal 4-Way as Tony Storm takes on Tiebreaker DMD, Jamie Hayter, and Hikaru Shida. James, you're first.
My official prediction will be on the forum, but all I will say is this. Anybody but Britt Baker! Okay, that ends that.
All right, that was very mild. I'm very proud of you. All right, let me go ahead.
You don't want to be... you didn't want to be proud of me? Okay, hold on.
Shit.
Okay.
You've done it now.
Take your $5 ass out to the back and be punished like you should have been and be suspended after this event. You $5 ass bitch.
Ooh.
There you go, Britt. Happy with that? Don't care. Adam Cole, block me if you want. I don't care. Your wife's being difficult to work with, and she needs to be told as such. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, then.
Anybody else?
Tony Storm challenged Thunder Rosa, of course, at Forbidden Door. Great match. They were going to go round 2, but unfortunately, again, back injuries.
Oh, by the way, let me preface this because believe it or not, we actually do have like 4 concurrent viewers watching right now. For those who think I'm being harsh on Britt Baker, after this review, go see the open mic night with me, Jeff Meacham, JJ Williams, and Noah. I covered all of what happened with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa in complete detail with all the sources you need to know. Hence why I said what I said about Britt. There you go. It's not without just cause.
Fair enough. Tiebreaker DMD, of course, former AEW Women's Champion. She lost the title to Thunder Rosa this year and still carries the St. Patrick's Slam. She's also had pinfall victory, 1-for-1, I believe, with Tony Storm. She took the title off for Caro in the first place. And then you have Jamie Hayter. I'm a hater. Running mate with Tiebreaker DMD, one of the strongest athletes in all of AEW. Needs to be pushed more to a degree, in my opinion. Previously challenged Thunder Rosa at Battle of the Belts for the AEW Women's Championship and owns a pinfall victory over Tony Storm. I don't believe that her and Shida have faced each other one-on-one. And of course, Hikaru Shida currently is a champion right now for Joshi Pro Wrestling Promotion as the not Regina, because that's Mexico. What is it? Rego D-Wave? Something D-Wave Championship. Wave all caps. Take that for what you will. Recently successfully defended that against Amy Sakura. She was our champion during the pandemic when she took it off Nyla Rose at Double or Nothing 2020 and held all the way until Double or Nothing 2021 in front of fans until her reign was ended that night by Tiebreaker DMD. I look at this match and I think about 2 things. One of the 2 that has never held the gold should be at least the interim champion. Like Jeff said, it's not a vacancy. It's interim, which means that whoever wins this has a match waiting for them against Thunder Rosa. So whether Toni Storm goes heel or Jamie Hayter finally breaks out on her own and I get another strong, stiff affair with two great athletes with a fighting background per se too. I take either or. But right now, I gotta think more with my brain than my heart. Thunderstorm is gonna collide at some point. La Mera get well soon, even when she put out her tweet. Changes need to happen soon. I believe it is her time. I do have Toni Storm winning.
Sure.
Anthony, you're up.
I'm gonna break it down like this: Sheeta, D-Wave champion. Britt, she's already had her time in the title picture for way too long. Time that we need to continue that. As in, do not let this woman hold another title, at least for about, I say about a good old 2 years.
All right.
Jamie Hayter, a strong contender in my book to take it. You going with your mind and not your heart. Going with my mind and my heart.
Mm-hmm.
You pretty much touched on it. Thunderstorm will collide. Hold up, as I do this on the Daily Slam. Where's my blue? There's the blue.
All right.
As we hear on the ATW view, this is King's forecast of the morning. We will have a 100% chance of Toni Storm winning here. The AEW Interim Women's World Championship at All Out. And that concludes your Sunday forecast. Thank you very much.
And now to James with the white weather forecast. James, it indubitably be raining outside.
Thank you, James. In other news, the landscape of the AEW Women's Division is still under very rocky turf as we wonder who will lead it into the next echelon, as Madison Ray now takes control as the head coach, and we don't even know how she's necessarily involved at this point. Stay tuned for further details. This has been the Simple Men and crew bringing you news at 2 a.m.
This is hilarious because we have a news backdrop for the show right now.
Shit! I forgot about that.
I did too. And I'm the one who laid out the graphic. By the way, somehow Liz is still in the chat. She said, my opinion on Britt
God bless
Baker.
you.
Fan of her, but in serious need of improvement. There's stuff, same stuff won't work every time. Oh, I agree. Used to be a fan of Britt Baker as well, and I agree with everything you just said. Used to be a fan is the reason why I said earlier is because, well, she is not the good guy in the situation with her and Thunder Rosa.
You started phasing out into static, brother.
Did I?
Yep, you did.
Oh, shit. Oh, guys, am I coming out staticky?
A little bit, you are.
A little bit.
Shit. Alright, how about now? Hold on.
That's a little bit better, I think.
Testing.
Go ahead, say something.
Testing. Oh, wow, yeah, that's really bad. Shit. Okay, yeah, Audacity.
You got a frequency issue happening with you all of a sudden. I was going. Shit, I had something on my mind and
Go
then
ahead,
I
go
lost
ahead.
it to the news.
I got it,
Oh no, I remember now. And now I will bring in my special guest correspondent, Ollie, to give his take on Britt Baker. Ollie, Britt got winning. Thank you, Ollie. All right, moving on from there. As James figures out his audio issues, and we have gone off the rails because that's what ATW does. Go figure. I'm going to have a freaking mad time trying to come up with a compilation of this year's moments and rants. Jesus. Lord help me. Anyway. Duh.
How do I sound now? How do I sound now?
You sound perfectly fine.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. So, yeah, it was apparently one of my things is on its way out the freaking door. I think my USB specifically. It's not even the microphone. It's the USB. Anyway,
yeah,
continue.
well, you gotta get like a different USB port. No, you're fine, brother. Technical difficulties. Let's go ahead and kick off with this match right here, where I believe you're going to have a whole different demeanor. Because what have we been doing tonight? Talking wrestling, but to a degree, giving people a taste of sports entertainment. And now we're going to get that with this match here, as we wonder, will Daniel Garcia proceed in red pill versus blue pill? Which way do you go? Grudge match! Big grudge match! My grudge match of the night, and this should be the opener. The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, takes on Lionheart Chris Jericho 1-on-1. And this truly comes down to sports entertainment versus professional wrestling, damn it.
I absolutely love that this match revolves around a Daniel Garcia who is a young man. Love it, love it, love it.
Going to define this young man's future, per se, and with the fact that we know Daniel Garcia will get a 2 for the Ring of Honor Pro Championship is this coming Wednesday on Dynamite. Will it be fought on honor, or will it be fought with entertainment?
Mm-hmm.
Last time, James, I started with you. Anthony, you're kicking this thing off.
Oh man, the story here, perfect. It's been perfect. It's basically having Daniel Garcia choose is he a pro wrestler? Is he a sports entertainer? Because you guys in Cleveland made y'all's voices be known.
Damn right we do.
Y'all chanted this man basically, you're a wrestler, and you know it was basically, it touched him. And it's like, but Jericho's been a mentor to me this time, and I can't leave his seat. And at the same time, seeing what Wheeler's been doing, I've had a 30-minute classic with my hero and Danielson, and it's like he's stuck between the two. I'm giving this one to this was basically the Lionheart, the man who basically was the last survivor of the Stu Hart dungeon.
Yeah.
And then you have the American Dragon. Ever since he's been on this AEW run for about a year now. Can you believe it's been a year now that he's been in AEW?
And that's right. He came in at All Out. Good Lord.
It's been a year. And this is the first time that they've wrestled each other 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
So, with the last survivor of the Stu Hart dungeon, that Lionheart against the American Dragon, see who is out technical wrestle who. It's basically an even playing field. We're talking styles of wrestling. It's an even playing field when it comes down to these two. I just say legends at this point.
I agree with that statement.
I'm giving this one to Danielson. Danielson's going to take the win here.
All right, then. James, do you feel that the match we saw here will influence Daniel Garcia's future going forward and who he might be with in a world of faction warfare? Will he become a factor in this match, or will he simply come out afterwards and make his intentions fully known, where right now he's torn between two different worlds, two different mentors and friends, two different disciplines of the wrestling industry? Your takeaway on this match and story?
I think he just goes rogue on both. It does his
Just
own thing.
Bryan Danielson told him just, be you, but I believe that you are a professional wrestler. After all, it was the first name he mentioned when he wanted to form the Blackpool Combat Club in the first place. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, true. Lee Moriarty were the other one, and now all of them are in different factions now. It's crazy. Yeah, so I would say I think I'm going to go with Danielson. I just have a hunch. It's going to be Danielson just to get his win back from Double or Nothing. I think this is the perfect time to do that. So there you go.
Yeah, and again, I believe that Bryan Danielson's going to win too because Bryan Danielson is the professional wrestler. I mean, Regal calls him the perfect wrestler. You know we're going to be on commentary probably for this. And Jericho, again, he's already a legend made. And this is going to be a true stretch clinic. We think about the clash with Daniel Garcia and Bryan Danielson at the House of the Dragon 2 Out Free Falls, and how many times they went move for move, counter for counter, tit for tat, physical attack. I can see a lot of that same stuff here, but with Jericho being seasoned, and we all know Jericho's background in WCW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, fought with the likes of Juice and Thunder Liger, the Juventud, everybody you can name under the sun. Both these men, this is going to be my potential to be match of the night. I'm just going to put it out there right now. So, yeah, but I look at what is the bigger thing here. The story of guiding, once again, future star of AEW, Daniel Garcia. If Daniel Garcia is going to be more proficient as a professional wrestler, he needs to be in a faction dedicated to professional wrestling. And whether or not he goes rogue and goes full Red Death on his own, which I feel would be cool too, because very few to none people are literally on their own in AEW, I'm cool with that as well. But I feel Bryan Danielson does need to win more here too.
Yes.
It's not like me, the man, needs to go after a title. Bryan Danielson fought for the title twice already this year.
Yeah, he's all
in case
set.
we forgot that.
Yes.
He's all set.
Yeah, both are. Period. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to, Well, this is going to be a clusterfuck, and someone's going to probably break their neck. You ready for this? Casino ladder match. 8 participants, 7 known, and a joker. We have the Blackpool Combat Club represented by Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta, who might say I picked up a pinfall video when they're on Dynamite, pinning Dante Martin. We also have the Lucha Brothers, both of them, Penta Silva Miero and Rey Phoenix, who just put up a victory over Blake Christian. We have Eagle Morales de Faction, represented by both members, in Rush and Andrade Igolo, who might I add, Andrade has yet to get a world title shot in this company. And Dante Martin, all by himself. And Joker. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and talk about this, shall we? As we know, the winner of this match will have a future AEW World Championship match. The Joker, more than we can count, has usually been the guy to win these type of things. Or be the latest signing. Because that's the Tony Khan mentality, you crazy madman. With him welcoming all wrestling, and we already got Impact Wrestling Motion Machine Guns on Showcase here. Is it somebody from Impact? Is it somebody from NJPW? Is it somebody above and beyond that we don't know too? Is it somebody better than you? But would they really do that in this type of degree? I am extremely torn on who wins this, but I am more so leaning to the Joker regardless of who it is, considering Claudio's a champion. Yuta is a champion. Rey, yeah, he deserves a shot, but it's kind of iffy. Rey Fenix, he is one of the friggin' best in this entire company. Let's just put it out there, okay? Rouge has already had a chance at the AEW World Championship. Andrade has yet to have it, and Dante faced Hammond earlier for it this year. It comes down to Penta, Andrade, or Joker for me. So for fun, you guys get 2 picks, but you don't have to say who you think the Joker is. You can just simply say it. But going off AEW convention, I'm definitely going with Joker as primary. And as far as secondary, looking at either CM Punk or Jon Moxley having the championship, I think a match with Andrade Igolo, it will definitely be must-see. And it still surprises me Andrade does not have as many wins or matches on actual AEW TV. That's a damn crime. So those are my picks, Joker and Andrade. As far as the Joker, no idea. Hiromu Takahashi. I have no damn clue. James, break this down and good luck storytelling the future of the AEW World Championship through this match before our main event. Give us your thoughts and your picks.
Oh, boy.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go with Joker as primary. I'm gonna go with Andrade as my secondary. I want the Joker to beat MJF. If it's not MJF, I'm not gonna be too bummed out because there's still always the end of the show that comes after the fact.
Right.
But I hope MJF comes out at some point. But regardless, I'm sticking with Joker as my primary.
Anthony, besides MJF, who do you think could be the Joker? Could it be somebody returning from injury? Could it be a new signing? Is they from AEW? Are they from WWE? Are they from Impact Wrestling? Are they from New Japan Pro Wrestling? Do you see them as your primary regardless? And who's your secondary?
Primary, Joker, secondary, Andrade.
Okay, we're on the same
Now,
page as far as that goes.
Yeah, we are on the same page. Now, as far as Joker goes, I have 2 names in mind. Neither of them is MJF. Because I'm still hoping he comes at the end of the show and cause a ruckus. That's what I'm hoping.
I would
In
hope
Chicago.
It is
Chicago.
no DQ. It is no DQ, too.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think Jon Moxley was just talking about, because, again, he will wrestle in that world, but we all know the referee's going to have huge leniency in the AEW Championship match, too. But we'll talk more about that shortly. We're almost done. Anyway, King, continue.
I have 2 names in mind. One, boom.
Adam Cole, baby! Well, he did win the
Listen,
first ever North American Championship in a ladder match, and I don't know if he's fully clear.
He is fully cleared as of yesterday morning.
Okay, that
He is
makes
fully
more.
cleared.
That sounds more definitive now. Continue.
Yeah.
Second of all, this man, I think, just now got done filming Twisted Metal. You know exactly who I'm talking about.
Samoa Joe, the Ring of Honor television champion, who
Yeah, I
said
can
he
see
was
that.
out for everything.
Yes.
Mm.
Could see it.
That
Could see
that big man on a ladder, though. Oh my lord.
it. Yeah. Could see it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely worked. But regardless, we're all thinking that the Joker based on AEW conventions is going to win this match. That's really what that comes down to.
Yep.
Yep.
9 out of 10 times the Joker has won in these things. Just saying. Brian Cage, Ruby Soho, Heyman and Page in the very first ever Casino Battle Royale at Double or Nothing 2019 that started AEW in the first place. Just saying. All right. Well, I already know who I'm starting with first here. This is it. Big story. AEW World Trios Championship Tournament Finals in an all-elite affair. As the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, who survived not only Ego Monopoly State Faction, but most recently United Empires will also be announced the Open. Jesus, what a freaking
That was a
match.
crazy 6-man. Yep, it was.
That's got to be up there for a match of the year TV candidate. Taking on, I gotta admit, kind of surprised by this, but also it kind of makes sense. The Dark Order. I'm literally talking about John Cena and Alex Reynolds, but their partner, Hangman Adam Page. After the Dark Order Original 3 won against House of Black, and then we just saw on Rampage, these three overcome the best friends in the Flash roll-up. Talk about stealing victory in the clutch. One of these two teams will be our inaugural AEW World Trios Champion. Now, I could talk about the stories of what if, I could talk about the connections, but there is somebody here that I believe is more elite than even me. Anthony, this is your match. Take it away, your pick, and what's to come for either side.
Let's revert back to last year around November, Full Gear. Now, the main event, we saw what happened towards the end between the Bucks and Hangman. Matt gave the nod and was like, finish him. Hangman finished him with a buckshot. 1, 2, 3. Hangman becomes your new AEW World Champion after basically a 2-year story building between Omega, around Hangman.
Pretty much.
Now, fast forward to BTE. BTE.
You're fine. Keep going. You're fine, man. Get your thoughts together.
Matt has been the one trying to reconnect with the Hangman himself, but he's been hesitant on trying to reconnect with him because, still having second thoughts. He feels conflicted. He's seeing the success of what Adam's been doing with the Dark Order, how much fun he's been having. And then the offer came basically, before that, the Undisputed Elite, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, O'Reilly, and the Bucks. Adam Cole dropping the promo saying Bobby Fish can't be in this tournament with you guys, and you guys can't be in this tournament either.
Right.
And then cheap shot to the Bucks, and Hangman made the same. That kind of leads to basically saying, okay, we're going to get the Hung Bucks back. Well, not until when Page had to say that I think you guys should find a more suitable partner that won't turn their back against you. I'm not going to be part of this trios tournament. I'm going to be at the Dark Order's corner.
Join the Dark Order.
Boy, did that. Yeah, about that. Sheesh, I was not expecting Hangman to be part of it. Kind of makes sense for this story here.
I really wasn't either. I mean, going to be in the corner at least, but jeez.
But turns out that mystery partner happened to be the best bout machine after 277 days of being gone since Full Gear of November of last year. Now, here we are, full circle, and I just saw the Young Bucks notification from what AEW just tweeted about their tweet. And I'm going to read it with exactly what Matt Nick said. So, this is it. Trios Championship. Elite. Dark Order. As Trio win. Going with the Elite. And I'm sticking to it.
Yep.
Not changing it. Sticking with the Elite.
Also sticking with the Elite.
But
what a
I will
story.
say this. This story is going to be emotionally driven more than the Jungle Boy and Christian Cage, or more than Starks and Hobbs. Because this story has been built.
I think for different reasons, yes.
There's different
different
aspects of emotional investment in all
Exactly.
these matches,
Yeah.
but this one has the longest of longevity.
Because the 2-year story arc building, and plus now that Omega's back, and Omega is now seeing what's really going on since he's been away, with the whole, with Hangman having fun with the Dark Order, plus the Bucks, feeling conflicted of wanting to reunite with Hangman. And now Kenny's seeing all of this, but yet they have a trio title, and plus Don Callis. Don Callis plays a factor here too, because he is the invisible hand.
Already stirring the
And
pot.
of course, Don Callis is always for one person.
Yep.
Kenny Omega. That also going to come into play here.
Yeah.
But above all and end all, going with the Elite here, and this story is really going to get emotionally driven to where I might actually cry, tear it.
Yeah, man, for sure. Absolutely.
I feel this is up there when you figure about what we call probably the greatest tag team match of all time with AEW Revolution, Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks. You now have Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks together against Hangman Page and the Dark Order. And the Dark Order have been pretty much a supporting role to the story of the Hangman, and honestly how the Elite is shaped today to a degree. So I understand what you're saying, but when I look at this, it is extremely hard to bet against the Elite because I can't see a shock to their system now with the Undisputed Elite pretty much down to people. And why will Ospreay says this is over by a long shot, Ken? You saw his tweet. You saw that right now, United Empire, they're done doing their thing, as Tony calls it to them, etc. So everything right now, thinking about who needs this and what it could lead to for the ones that don't get this. Hangman Page is a guy that I feel could go through another emotional turmoil, and we go on that journey with him too. If the Elite wins, Hangman Page could maybe turn the Dark Order. Maybe John Cena once teased, I kind of miss being heels. Maybe they finally turn on their long friend. Does the championships really convey the end for one of these two factions? And as you alluded to, does Kenny Omega know exactly what happened at Full Gear yet to a degree? Because that's never been brought up at all. Not even by Don Callis, which seems. But Don Callis has been in Kenny Omega's ear every time, and clearly Don Callis and Kenny Omega have something in mind for their best interest, nobody else's. But I do agree with you at this point, looking at storytelling, I do believe that it will go to the Elites.
Mm-hmm.
James, anything further to add from the story arcs you think that could come, or from this in general?
I agree with everything that everybody said. There's nothing else I can add, really.
That's a first.
I have a lot more to say about the main event.
Well, then, how fitting that we have finally reached the end, as it is the main event in what could be Rocky Balboa recreated, but I hope it's not. AEW World Championship, Jon Moxley vs. CM Punk, round 2, in Chicago, in the main event of the AEW pay-per-view in the Now Arena. James, who takes it? What's our ending? What's ahead for both men? This is all you.
There's a lot of questions with what the hell's going on backstage. I don't even think we're being fed the appropriate answers still.
Agree.
I think everybody's getting mixed messages. I think Feifel is. I think Dave Meltzer is. I think everybody is. I even think Off the Script is getting mixed answers, who I used as a viable source for the Britt Baker Thunder Rosa stuff. We're getting all these mixed messages. Believe it when I see it. And the more I see how they've been producing everything,
As of late.
things are not looking great here. There's a couple of factors. Number one, after what happened between Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, where I will go over it briefly if you don't want to go over to the video. Tony Khan was on the side of Britt Baker all the way through in their quarrel, which is what led to the sandbagging thing being aired on TV, which Thunder Rosa absolutely flat out refused to have and be a thing. She didn't want it in the promo, but it was overruled by Tony Khan. That was a huge red flag. The minute that was even uttered into the atmosphere, I have now since questioned if this MJF and Tony Khan thing was ever a fucking work in the first place. Now, we just saw the countdown. We saw Moxley talk absolutely crazy all throughout that countdown special.
Yep.
Unless it was on TV, not a single word from Punk. That's fucking concerning. AEW could be losing their two biggest draws by the time this show's over. And if that happens, I am not covering wrestling, period, after that.
Ooh.
I've made this very clear, but it is looking more scarier every single minute that this goes unanswered. And until the right answer, there is only one answer. Punk wins the belt here, and MJF attacks both after the match. Those have to happen. That doesn't happen, I'm done. I'll give it one more week. MJF could show up. Punk could be there still. That'll be fine. But they've booked themselves where there could only be one outcome. And if ego's gotten away, I'm wiping my hands clean of this shit. I can't. I can't do it anymore. It is so mentally taxing, already as it is, in this shitty fucking atmosphere known as the IWC. I cannot do another minute of this if I find out that that is ultimately what led to the demise of AEW, because it infiltrated the locker room and in the minds and the egos of said people involved. I can't do it. I can't fucking do that to myself. I refuse to do that to myself. We are already in a point where I don't know what the hell is going to go down. Moxley retains and MJF comes back, that's fine. That's still concerning that Punk is not even there. Both need to be signed. Otherwise, I'm done. Because all that's all this is going to confirm to me legitimately is that everything that we've been hearing on the internet is in fact true to some degree. That's exactly what that confirms to all of us. And a lot of people I know will be like, listen, WWE is good. Why don't you check out the WWE? Because I don't want to fucking pick and choose. I don't want that. At all. I didn't want to continue covering wrestling because I wanted to pick and choose. I chose to keep covering wrestling because AEW was an alternative, and I thought it would change the industry to where both companies would eventually do well. Creatively speaking, for the fans speaking, that's why I chose to still cover it, especially after being so long of being away. I'm not trying to freaking pick a side because WWE is doing better now. That's not my end game. If both companies aren't doing well, and they're not doing well on their own merits, and they're letting BS ego get in the way, count me the fuck out. I'm too old for this shit. I'm 26 years old. And I feel like I'm fucking 40 because of bullshit like this. You know why I'm especially pissed off? Because I've had to deal with it in my own CIW fed. And this exact same bullshit happens. I watch wrestling storyline for storyline to escape from this shit. Not to fucking relive it all over again. As far as my prediction goes, It better be Punk. That's my pick. Anything else, I flat out refuse. And MJF better show up after the match. Those are my thoughts.
Oh.
There you
Wow. Okay. Well,
go. I mean,
I look at
it was more of an announcement, really. Like, because...
more of a statement, and then more so maybe a promise to yourself, but I respect that gumption. And again, here's the thing. Hello, Jeff. Both men are worthy of holding the championship. Both men are worthy of facing MJF and allowing him to be the guy to go over with the championship. I've been saying it since AEW Double or Nothing 2019. King, you're a witness to this. The first two men involved when the championship was revealed was the winner of the Casino Battle Royale and the last person besides him. That was him and Adam Page and one MJF. Him and Adam Page, the name you know, always in the shadow, though, of the Elite. MJF, the guy that nobody knew jack shit about except he's an asshole. And everything he did in this company, on the mic and in the ring, absolutely gold. You could say every one of his promos, considering they were 100% unscripted, were fat and were true. And when he delivered that fabulous forum statement, it definitely turned a lot of heads in and out of AEW and the fan base of wrestling too. For me, this comes down to one thing, as James alluded to. MJF needs to be the guy to lead AEW as the AEW World Champion into the future. Simple, period, blank, and statement. Simple as that. Whether or not it means he comes in during the match, afterwards, blows a kiss to Chicago and risks his own health through that fan base, which adds even more tension, that's a whole different thing. Especially with Tony Khan having to do the media scrum afterwards too. He might cancel it because Tony Khan is the emotionally reactive individual in all of this. Countless times in scrums he's been asked about MJF. He's been absolutely denying anything about it. Not saying a word. MJF needs to come in and face Jon Moxley because he hasn't beaten Jon Moxley at all, ever, one-on-one. One other time they faced each other. AEW All Out 2020 for the title. Due to technicality, Jon Moxley won. He used the paradigm shift behind the rest back. CM Punk and MJF, the feud you never knew you wanted, but you loved it and you may absolutely want it back. We saw what happened in Chicago when MJF beat him twice. We saw what happened, though, in the dog car match, a staple of Ring of Honor, and MJF's been involved in that at AEW Revolution earlier this year, and saw what CM Punk became out of that. And MJF lost. And since then, MJF has been, we could see, on an emotional roller coaster when it comes to his identity in professional wrestling. Bottom line, MJF versus blank needs to happen for AEW to have legitimacy in their company and definitive nature for the World Championship. But as far as this match goes, heart versus mind. My heart says Jon Moxley, but it comes down to who I think can push MJF over further in this company, in the industry. No disrespect to Jon Moxley, but CM Punk is that guy to be the one to do it. I do have CM Punk winning.
Yep.
Anthony, take it home.
We've seen how the story has been played out. Everybody's saying this could possibly lead to CM Punk heel turn, which it could probably well be, because I still have that image in my head of basically Punk looking towards back at Mox and the crowd just for a quick second, and that's all I needed. Now, do I think a heel turn should happen? Yes. But in this case, I don't think that's going to be the case here. But I do see Punk beating Mox, which, like you said, no offense to Mox. I want Mox to continue as champ. But in Chicago of all cities, Chicago all of wrestling cities, I should specify.
Yeah.
And of course, with that promo, that Punk cut with Ace still in the ring, which people stop hating on the freaking promo.
The promo's
Stop.
awesome. That promo is awesome. There's no need to hate on it. Period.
Just stop
Agree.
hating on the promo. Like, stop bringing other stuff into it of why, basically. Like, we all get that. Stop hating on the promo. The promo was good for what it was, and it got everybody hyped. So just shut up about it. So
everybody talking too.
MJ, like you MJF needs to cause a ruckus. Needs to go rogue and basically have everybody talking once again in Chicago. If that doesn't happen, I might take a step back again from the whole IWC period. I might take a step back.
I don't blame you, dude. I really
because I am tired, and I'm going to put this out there now, and I'm calling every single one of you guys out. Because ever since Triple H has taken over creative, y'all been turning a blind eye. Y'all been turning like a whole new leaf and want to criticize AEW the next day. Y'all need to stop getting in that Triple H honeymoon phase quick. Because I'm giving that Triple H honeymoon phase about 3 months. Because right now, he's already taken 2 L's right now with the women's tag team division and Braun Strowman signing. Don't think for 1 second that he's going to make another major L. Y'all need to get in that Triple H honeymoon phase real quick, real fast, and stop criticizing AEW the next day. It's either you with AEW or you basically just go back to WWE and be disappointed within 3 months.
Bandwagon jumper.
Punk takes the win here. MJF needs to come out. I just thought I had to get it out of the way because I've been seeing so many people been flopping over to the E because of the fact that everything's greener on the other side. Yes, I get that. But stop turning over a new leaf. The Thursday it comes out, I don't like AEW.
Give it time. It doesn't happen in freaking a month. It's been a month, guys.
You can thank Triple H for the creative decisions he's done on a good standpoint, but you still can criticize Triple H when he has something you don't agree with. The same thing applies to AEW. Not one is superb, the thing, or better than the other. Simply put, just enjoy what you like. Just enjoy wrestling. Don't be a kiss-ass. Don't be a bully. Don't be a foolish, one-sided tribalist. Don't develop in a society where you believe that your own mediocrity outweighs the sensitive balance of the professional wrestling industry.
Yep.
Everybody plays. None of them are the same. Just because one changes doesn't mean the one you've been with turns into a bad thing. That's why, like I said, I don't scroll. I don't have notifications. I simply watch what I enjoy 5 to 6 days a week. And everybody has made mistakes. But it doesn't mean I have to hate it forever or leave it and go somewhere else just because it looks a little better. But as far as what we can all agree with here, AEW, in our honest opinion, and again, we're just fans, in our honest opinion, though, needs to invest properly in MJF.
Agreed.
Yep. And I started this show, my opinion at least. I started my opinion by criticizing Triple H and his takes on AEW.
And you know Tony Khan, he has his own taste when it comes to WWE. We've seen it in the media scrum.
And
exactly.
Some more humble, some more ego-driven.
Well, again, Tony had the proper reaction to that. That I'm not going to do.
Like I said, sometimes both parties have acted equally good and bad on both sides of things.
I'm not bringing up what Tony said about Triple H because that's irrelevant to my point, and Tony handled that way better than Hunter did.
Right. And again, the biggest curse to us as fans is the fact we are so connected with what these guys say.
Well, yeah, I'll get to that by the end. But
I feel like we already have to quite a degree. I think Anthony just basically said the statement. There's a reason why we're ATW and we're a private inner circle of fans that can actually understand and relate to a degree what we mean and what we want to see in the wrestling industry. And that goes on behalf of the entire ATW family, not just the people here or the people that watch and listen to this.
I am letting it be known now that if MJF doesn't show up and if Punk is gone, shame on
Double
Punk.
whammy.
Shame on Punk.
Shama.
Number one, Punk, the Colt Cabana and podcast happened 8 years ago now. Time to move on, dude. Number one. Number two, I'm not even saying you have to be best fucking friends with him, but at least be fucking courteous. For fuck's sake, it's not that hard. It's a working environment. Act like it. Got it? Phil?
Don't have to like your workers. Just do right.
That's number one. Number two, Tony Khan. You deserve criticism here, because I've been fucking supporting this shit from day fucking one. So if I say this is a bullshit thing, then I fucking mean it, and people understand that it's a legitimate concern. Shame on you for letting all of this get out of hand. It never should have gotten as out of hand as it did.
Yeah.
2020 was fucked for a lot of fucking people. We wanted to move on from that and not stress about wrestling. We want to enjoy it. The fact that we are now here 2 years later after that, in 2022, after we thought we were going to have this rejoicing of pro wrestling coming back, and then you drop the fucking ball with all of these isolated fucking incidents. I'm at a loss for fucking words. If you get MJF back, and if Punk stays around and sticks around, you cannot let this ever happen again. Ever again.
I have to wait and see what happens, man. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
This, if you are a fan that has to do this shit, even if it's a hobby, whether it's a job, whether you're just on the internet and you just happen to run into this shit, if you're a fan of these products and you see all this backstage turmoil going on, that's fucking concerning for any fan.
And the fact that we can't see it, makes it worse. It'd be a whole different story if we couldn't see it. But again, the biggest problem with the wrestling industry is the internet.
Not only internet, let's talk about internet feeds the fucking egos of these people.
It does. The power of a keyboard.
Let your ego to the fucking side, and I'm talking to every single worker in the goddamn back.
It's one thing to market yourself. It's another thing to have your hubris.
Put your ego to the side. Work the fucking together. Triple H, that includes you. Stop getting on your high horse because you are pissed off that AEW defeated your developmental brand. Work with AEW and work with these other freaking promotions instead of trying to take over the entire industry and actually give wrestling something to freaking chomp at the bit at. And actually work together. Because guess what? It's not 1998 anymore! 2022! Work together, not separate. That's the fucking lesson here.
The only difference now is you got the internet defining that even more.
Yeah, and fuck all you too, by the way. Just like King said, fuck all you too. And that includes anybody that turns a blind eye to when AEW fucks up and when WWE fucks up, especially.
It just doesn't come down to those two companies, though, my friend. Let's keep that in mind too. Again, wrestling is a very broad industry.
I've been shitting on Nick Aldis for years too. For this.
I know that's a different conversation. What I'm saying is, wrestling is always going to be flawed, but it's just ridiculous how the only things really talked about, for that matter, is the two biggest companies in the world too. It's almost like, again, the rest of the industry. You don't think about the mistakes that happen there too. Again, you can only hope that it gets better. But when you see a mistake like this, it does lead to some concern as human beings of what we believe should be the identity of the wrestling industry too. The bottom line is this before we continue on into a whole nother subtangent of mental health versus wrestling fandom.
Right. Yeah.
The biggest correction that AEW needs to do right now for their future is invest in MJF.
Yeah, because if not, this is catastrophic if they don't. There's no... This is where we're at. This is why I'm saying shame on Tony, because it never should have even gotten to this fucking point. It never should have.
Yep.
That's why I say what I say.
I understand what you say, and I respect that. And again, we're just talking with you. We're just talking about each other. The bottom line, though, we watch all things wrestling. That's why we created ATW. But we also talk, and we also hope the best for all things wrestling. No such thing as utopia. No such thing as a perfect world, despite some villains from some random movies trying to create that fabrication.
Yes.
There's no such thing. But there could always be something better. And AEW had literally lightning in a bottle with MJF and everything he brought forward by himself or with others together. That's all I got to say about that. That being said, folks, what's your thoughts on AEW All Out? Do you think something better should come? Should it be MJF? Do you have someone else in mind? Can AEW redefine and still thrive without him to think about on your minds? We saw the sign tonight. Pay MJF. I'm just saying on Rampage. So people
Everybody's been saying it. Pay the fucking man.
Yep.
I'm not the only one that's worried about this shit.
I believe it. I think we all have a sense of concern if you follow the AEW product. You heard that promo. You look at the environment now. You think about the title pictures, and you think about the future longevity and storytelling, not just put together for wrestling. But again, folks, we'd like to hear your thoughts, comments down below. Come react with us on Twitter, and we'll see what we can discuss and elaborate on, too. But with that being said, that's all we have for now on this latest edition of the ATW View. Before we conclude, James, you poured your heart out tonight. God bless you. Again, we have literally less than 48 hours, a little more than that, actually, with the timing and how long the show's going to be, to really see what is next in AEW. But is there anything else you want to plug and promote? Where can people find you?
Really, I only have one thing to promote, or a couple things. Button Mashers on Casey's channel, episode 4 of Stable Wars with the Smash mod up right now. YouTube.com/MetalNut1120. You can also check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/JHEBERTSIDE95. That has the Don DeMarco show's debut with King and myself. By the way, we do have to re-record that because, of course, YouTube and copyright law. We'll just redo that.
I warned you.
We'll do it in post. For some reason, the first time we played it didn't get freaking banned, but everything else did after.
Yeah, the algorithm freaking gets a double check, and then you see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. So, but what you can see is up on the channel right now. Go check that out. We're planning on doing more of those as time goes on. Probably going to need to be fair, because, from the looks of things, things are not certain, at least for me. I'll still probably be behind the scenes producing stuff for people, but other than that, I don't know what I'm doing. But that's what I have so far. As far as everything else goes, after All Out, we'll see what goes on. I'm not promising anything. I do know we're taking a week off. There might be a couple things on Owen's channel that are posted later on in the week. But otherwise, I'm going to be in Vermont for a week. So
nice.
I'll be on vacation, which I fucking need.
We all need some sort of thing away from just life and work, and even if it's wrestling, for me, it was just going to see life wrestling. That's why I loved going to AEW Dynamite in Cleveland. But I digress. And again, man, respect everything you do, but also, as I always say, protect your mentality, too. And I also want to just throw out this little curveball out there, too. Something big has to go down. If the Elite beat Heyman and Page in Dark Order, maybe somebody in the Dark Order needs to turn also. Or Heyman needs to turn. Maybe Heyman comes out in the main event and gets some revenge on CM Punk regarding that shoot little bit that he did in that one promo that set up him and Jon Moxley. There's a number of factors that come into play in the world title picture, but one of them needs to be MJF. That being said, Anthony, always a pleasure. I know we'll probably do Rampage some point today, as it is Saturday here on the East Coast. But anything you want to promote, where can people find you?
Twitter, find me on Instagram, AMT 23, number 23.
There you go. It's as simple as that. Appreciate you, gentlemen.
Also, your Instagram, which has a dot in between the Roman numeral and the number 20.
I'll say, make sure they know exactly how to find it. That's how search works.
Uh-huh.
It's annoying, but it's how it works, folks. Internet. I work in IT for a living, so it is what it is. And folks, you want to know more about me, know this. I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! But I digress. Find my show on the Jeff Meacher Network. And find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, to our entire ATW family. Again, it's going to be a hell of a weekend. AEW out with the most polarizing card, stacked card to a degree, and a lot of what ifs and maybe some concerns to be, and finally, be set free from our minds. We'll wait and see. But stay tuned for the Jeff Meacher Network. I'll be bringing you live, play-by-play commentary, reaction, coverage for, Lord help me, all 3 shows. Today's Clash of the Castle, that is literally just a little under, as far as pre-show goes, 9 hours. We also have AEW All Out and Worlds Collide on Sunday, as the Jeff Meacher Network will be live non-stop for both those shows back-to-back, starting 3 p.m. Standard Time on tomorrow, and the season finale.
Hold on, question. When is Clash of the Castle again?
Clash of the Castle is Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Cool.
Pre-show at noon.
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Cheers to you. And stay tuned for the season finale of Open Mic Night as well on the Jeff Meacher Network. Me and Anthony will be back later on the Daily Sun to bring you a live recap and review on AEW Rampage and brief highlights on what we hope to see in our biggest matches for AEW All Out. And then, of course, I'll be providing you prediction updates for all the leagues through NoDQ.com, social media forums too, Impact WWE and AEW as well. And all 3 forums for the 3 events this weekend are now live on my Twitter. So go join the league, go join the fun, and see if you can have a perfect night too. But as always, I like to conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters. There are just fans and friends with their own opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. Just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. It's as simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Hit the bell as this video goes live or on demand on this channel. Hit the subscribe button. Help me keep growing this YouTube community that I've now been a part of come October for, I believe, 4 years now. It's been a fun, worthwhile endeavor. I've hit now 500 videos on this freaking thing. So, figure everybody who's been a part of the ride, it's not laying up anytime soon. I only wish to continue to engage and encourage you on the wrestling industry. For the entire ATW crew, for Anthony and for James, for this tired, simple man that has work to do, fun-wise, bring you commentary for Clash of the Castle 2. Drew, you better win, damn it. I am the Simple Man Noah Foster. Thank you once again for tuning in. Stay tuned for the Daily Slam, FTW Productions, Jeff Meacher Network, No DQ, and anything else that tickles your fantasies as a fan of wrestling. Thank you again. Make a positive impact in life as I leave you with this. Have a good night. Guys, it's going to be a wild weekend, and there will be emotional stirs, to say the least. We'll see if we start with some broken dreams. Come Clash of the Castle.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Ghost, please help.
Yeah, good Lord Almighty.
Yeah.